Minneapolis police offering some new information after an 18-year-old fell nearly 20 stories from inside an abandoned grain elevator last night.
This is a sad and tragic incident. An 18-year-old individual, their life is changed forever.
MPD spokesman Sergeant Garrett Parton says they've gotten a number of calls from people reporting this kind of activity.
Last year, as best as we've been able to track it, mostly in the 1st precinct and in the 2nd precinct, we've had over 80 incidents of reports of individuals involved in urban exploration. This year, we're at over 100.
And WCCO's Susie Jones talked with neighbors about the problems with those so-called urban explorers.
It was only a matter of time before someone got hurt. That's according to neighbors living near the old checkerboard grain elevator.
This happens daily and sometimes multiple times a day, most of the time at night, but on the weekends, it's all day.
Vox Payne says people come and park on the street and urinate on their yards.
They make a whole bunch of noise. They scream and yell from the top, some pretty bad obscenities.
And she says they partake in dangerous activities.
They do these very scary things, like the kid was doing a death hang is what they call it, which is a one-arm hang off of some pole that hangs off the building. And terrible things like this happen. This is what they do.
Susie Jones, News Talk 830 WCCO.
In other headlines, Chipotle says it's removing jalapenos from multiple Minnesota stores following a salmonella outbreak linked to more than 100 illnesses in the state. International soccer returns to Allianz Field in October as the U.S. men's national team faces Canada. Tickets go on sale Thursday for the October 6th match. And things are looking to get a little bananas this week in downtown Minneapolis with numerous sold-out events at Target Field. The big Noah Kahan concert, a Lynx home game, and then the Savannah Bananas bring their unusual style of goofy baseball to town this weekend. Downtown Council CEO Adam Dunnick says these events are important for the city.
These things are major generators for the city, great for the region and the state, and which is why it's important for us to invest in them. I know at times that it can be controversial. People say, why do we spend on professional sports? But these venues set us apart, and as a city, we want to have an iconic place for people to come visit.
He says the economic impact per event is between $1.5 to $3 million. WCCO News Time is 3:05.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
Couple of problems on 35W southbound. There's two fender benders, one between 94 and the 26th Street overpass, and another one just south between Highway 55 and Portland Avenue. That's a long, ugly stretch through downtown Minneapolis. Strongly consider an alternate if 35W south is in your route. 694 eastbound in Fridley has a crash between East River Road and Highway 47. Highway 100 southbound in Edina has an accident between Benton Avenue and Crosstown. That's a look at the roads. I'm Darren Kmeyer, News Talk 830 WCCO.
B&M Tree Services, certified arborists offering tree trimming, storm cleanup, and full tree removal with professional service at prices you can afford. Call 1-800-569-9034 or visit bnmtree.com. Trusted, professional, reliable.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
Brought to you by B&M Tree Service. Mostly cloudy tonight, gradually becoming mostly clear. Overnight low 58. Tomorrow, beautiful sunny day, high near 80. Wednesday night, becoming mostly cloudy, low 62. And then more sunshine on Thursday, high near 84. Right now, it's mostly cloudy, 75 at News Talk 830 WCCO.
It's coming. News Talk 830 WCCO.
You're thinking about it. Jason's talking about it. There are no breaks on bold takes here. Buckle up. This is Drive Time with DeRusha. Tuned up and rolling thanks to Luther Kia of Bloomington. Now, live from Minnesota's biggest microphone, here's Jason DeRusha.
I never thought the day would come that I would be defending Mike Lindell on this radio station, but what on earth are Minnesota Republicans doing to Mike Lindell? It reminds me of what national Republicans tried to do to Donald Trump the first time he ran for president, and how'd that work out? 651-461-9226. Where are you guys at on Mike Lindell? Because with 1 week until the primary election, I think a lot of us have not been taking him seriously. And I heard Chad today say that he thinks Lindell is going to win, and I think Lindell is going to win also. Now, the Republican Party attack on their own candidate, not their endorsed candidate. Kendall Qualls was endorsed. Lisa Damith was the candidate that I thought was the no-brainer who Republicans would elect, which, of course, leads us to what will likely happen, which Republicans will elect Mike Lindell. Now, the head of the state Republican Party tried to rat on his own guy, saying, I need you guys to look into whether or not Mike Lindell lives in Minnesota. If you're a Republican, do you feel like, my God, I just need to move to another state because the party, the candidates, it is the ultimate clown show? 651-461-9226. I do think Mike Lindell is unfairly being attacked. Now, I'm not saying that I think Lindell should be the candidate. I don't. Although I suppose if we really want to run a full test to see where Minnesota is, are we on the far left or the far right, may as well have Lindell. The only bummer in that sort of control, that sort of test, is that Democrats are putting up their most moderate candidate, Amy Klobuchar. Would have been more fun if you would have had someone from the progressive wing of the Democratic Party like they're doing in Wisconsin right now. Which, by the way, in our next hour, we will talk about Wisconsin's socialist candidate for governor, who apparently was sick and tired of the Minnesota socialists getting all the attention. And she proved she could not answer a very simple question, which I believe every one of our listeners could answer. Do you think Thanksgiving should be canceled? Do you still think? Which implies correctly that is a position she once stated. Republicans are going after Mike Lindell, saying, well, first it was campaign finance complaints about him throwing pillows. Then it was, look at all these lawsuits, Lindell's a train wreck. And just like the people who say, Donald Trump is a sexual harasser, when you point that out, it just makes the Trump supporters feel like, well, here, it's the big machine trying to take down our guy again. We don't care. We know he has warts. I think the same is true with Lindell. The more people bring up various failures of his, the more it makes people feel like, well, that's the establishment picking on the maverick. In this case, it's an argument over residency, which I'll be honest, I think if you are going to be a governor of a state, you should live here. It's a bold take. You might want to mark the time down that I said that, Dan, 3:11, because that is a hot one for me. That said, no serious person would argue that Mike Lindell is not a Minnesotan. He built his company here. He lived here. His story is here. I feel that this makes the Republican Party look like an absolute disaster. You're going after one of your own candidates before the primary, the week before the primary, trying to argue that he's not even a resident. To me, it shows the Republicans are afraid that Lindell's going to be the guy. And if you thought the path back to relevancy for Republicans in the state was the Mike Lindell show, especially when Republicans have the Michelle Tafoya show, which is sort of the dream scenario for Republicans. At least they think it is. We'll see. We don't know. Michelle's available to Fox News and other podcasts. She came on Chad's show once, and that's been about the extent of it. I just am a little startled to see the chair of the Republican Party reaching out to the Secretary of State, trying to embarrass Lindell and trying to make the case that he doesn't live here. Does anybody really believe that? Do you care? Are you like, oh, man, Mike Lindell, that guy's a carpetbagger? I mean, it just seems on the – and this is coming from a guy who thinks Mike Lindell as governor of Minnesota would be an absolute train wreck. I am not in favor of it. And also, I'm not in favor of bad faith arguments, and it feels like a bad faith argument to me. Here is a little bit of what Mike Lindell had to say on, which, by the way, like, the world is so weird, right? I'm like, I was trying to find, gosh, I wonder what Mike Lindell had to say in response to this stuff, because it's pretty remarkable for the head of the state Republican Party to be reaching out to I mean, think about this also. He reached out to the DFL Secretary of State. The Secretary of State, which many Republicans have spent the last 4 years trying to pretend like this guy is presiding over this incredibly fraudulent election system, can't be trusted, can't trust anything about it, Minnesota, crook, fraud, DFL, burp, burp. And then who does the head of the Republican Party go to? Yeah, I wonder what Steve Simon has to say about whether or not Mike Lindell lives here. Here's Lindell on his Mike Lindell show, which is on X and has like an anchor and has his lieutenant governor and some Washington correspondent. Like, I did not even know this was existing, but here's some of what Lindell had to say today.
On him. But the good news is, the more they do that, I just looked at Polymarket. Now we went up another point in the polls, up 75%. So it's like they, at least here in Minnesota in the media or the people know who I was. And, I never changed everybody. Remember, the things changed like when they attacked me when I first met President Trump before he was president in August of 2016. And so the hit jobs keep coming, but headlines,
so I think he's right. He called it a hit job. He said that he's been attacked relentlessly. Are the Republicans afraid of Mike Lindell? Are you afraid of Mike Lindell? 651-461-9226. Texter says some of us Republicans are very dumb. They think Lindell can win, and that Lisa Dameth, who has the best chance to win, is a rhino. Another texter says, if the Republicans don't address this residency issue now, the Democrats will after he wins the primary. Better to face the issue now than later. Do you think that's really what's going on here? If that really was what was going on, don't you think Alex Plekich could have dealt with that in a way different? In a different way than sending a letter to the DFL Secretary of State? I don't know. Hire a lawyer. The Secretary of State responded, by the way, saying, like, I don't know. Like, it's not our job to decide if somebody's a resident or not. That sort of dispute is settled in the Minnesota Supreme Court. So the whole thing, in my view, was a publicity stunt to try to get an article that says, Mike Lindell, is he even a Minnesotan? And do you really think that? Like, it just seems stupid to me. Jonathan is on the phone at 651-461-9226. The truth is out there, Jonathan. Mike Lindell, I mean, I have plenty of bad things to say about Mike Lindell, but trying to allege that he doesn't live here seems laughable to me. Hey, Jonathan, you're on the air. Oh, maybe not.
Oh, no, wait, I fell asleep on my MyPillow. Oh, my God.
I mean, very comfortable, very comfortable. Great. I mean, I had a MyPillow for a long time.
Hello. Good afternoon, all. Could Minnesota stop being such the joke of political discussion? First, President Crazy Pants. Yeah. We all know how this is going to end. He's going to win. And I'm scared. And it's so sad to me that this is where we are. And unfortunately, I don't believe Amy Klobuchar has a chance to win.
You don't think Amy Klobuchar has a chance to win?
Absolutely not. And I'll explain to you why. People are exhausted in Minnesota. We are all exhausted from President Crazy Pants, from Tim Walz. She's part of that establishment. And I'll tell you what, for me as a Minnesotan, I've never been more embarrassed about our political system right now. Paul Wellstone is rolling over in his grave. And I truly believe at this point in our country, I would vote for you before I'd vote for Mike Lindell.
Yeah. And that is
somebody.
Sheer desperation right there, right?
I mean, honest to goodness, is there not one person that can lead this state into the new world that we are all going to be in, especially with this new attorney general that is coming up, the stuff that they are going to throw at us? We need somebody there for the people. Not Mike Lindell and his stupid corporation that he doesn't live in Minnesota. We all know he's not from here. But at the same time, the world that we are all going to be in, good luck.
Jonathan.
And good.
Yeah, very good. The My Pillow bit was very good. A texter says, damn it, Jonathan, that was good. I'm so mad about how good that was. The Republican Party is asking Minnesota officials to clarify residency standards. At the beginning, when President Trump endorsed Lindell, they say in a statement like Alex Plekash just absolutely destroyed the endorsement, saying Minnesota cannot afford to nominate a ticket that gives Democrats an easy target, creates a very real possibility of another DFL trifecta. My question to you, does Lindell have a chance? 651-461-9226. Tons of texts on this. We'll share your thoughts. Your calls are welcome as well. Drive Time on a Tuesday, August 4th, here on CCO.
Drive Time with DeRusha is fueled by Luther Kia of Bloomington. Go see Dan Dingman and the crew today, or always online at lutherkiaofbloomington.com.
For the ones who get it done, Grainger offers the professional-grade products you need to get the job done. With fast delivery you can depend on and access to technical product experts ready to help you meet any challenge. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by.
The time to be outdoors is now. The weather is just lovely. It's Benita here. Make your backyard a place you'll love spending time in with By the Yard's beautiful maintenance-free outdoor furniture, built to withstand the elements and designed for comfortable outdoor living. It is so fantastic to sit and relax in By the Yard furniture. Visit a showroom today and experience it for yourself. By the Yard, life is better outdoors.
We're talking construction law today with Blake Nelson, an attorney from Helmuth & Johnson. Blake, why is having the right legal support so important?
One delay, one payment issue, or one contract mistake can put an entire project at risk and be the difference between making and losing money. In Minnesota, contract terms, timing, and documentation matter.
How does Helmuth & Johnson help?
We help contractors, subcontractors, and property owners protect their rights, get paid, and keep projects moving.
Learn more at hjlawfirm.com. Helmuth & Johnson, on your side, at your side, for all your construction law needs.
Let's make this summer your best summer ever. Jason here for Luther Kia of Bloomington, and Luther Kia Bloomington wants to upgrade your ride. Outstanding prices. $399 a month. Sign and drive lease offers on Seltos, Sportage, Nero, and K5. Get out of here. Plus $750 owner loyalty cash on the stunning Kia Telluride and the Telluride Hybrid. Best cars for the money on the market. Check out their brand new facility, now open at 35W and 494. Luther Kia of Bloomington.com.
Hey, Mom, now that I have an after-school job, I think I want to buy a drum kit.
Okay, rock star. Let's look at your account. When kids start making money, Chase has easy-to-use tools and expert bankers to help them learn how to manage it.
And next month, I'll buy the bass drum and the cymbals. Oh, and maybe some noise-canceling headphones for you.
Aw, you've thought of everything. Help kids save, budget, and build financial independence, all with Chase. That's good for kids and good for parents. Visit your local Chase branch and get started.
Account subject to approval. JP Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer at a beverage manufacturing plant, he starts his day knowing every line is ready to run because Grainger delivers the industrial-grade products he needs to keep mixers, conveyors, and packaging equipment moving. With Grainger's vast selection of bearings, belts, and motors, he keeps operations running smoothly, so nothing grinds to a halt. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
You're listening to Drive Time with DeRusha.
He's known for the slow burn. He wanted to keep it organic, and I'm still begging for it. More controversy.
On News Talk 830 WCCO.
Lots of text and a couple of phone calls also bringing up the Jesse Ventura situation as a reason to think that it is possible that Mike Lindell would win. I will say this, in my view, Mike Lindell will win the Republican primary, and Mike Lindell has zero chance to win against Amy Klobuchar. Mike Lindell is no Jesse Ventura. Jesse Ventura ran as an independent. Jesse Ventura had political experience as well. Jesse Ventura was an unconventional candidate, but even Ventura didn't have the kind of baggage, even with his like wrestling career and international fame. He also like came back here, was a mayor,
Brooklyn Park,
kind of, and it was also the time and the candidates he was against. And as you pointed out, he didn't have
a party attacking him. He also ran in a three-way race.
Totally different.
So it's not like he won a plurality of the votes. He just got more votes than the other two guys. But I mean, if Mike wins the Republican nomination, it's going to be Mike versus Amy. There's not going to be a three-way race that can split up votes enough to create a center lane for somebody else to come out. I mean, it's not going to work that way. So the dynamics, I understand why people are making the comparison, but the dynamics are completely different.
It does say that we have interest in outsiders. And I do think Jonathan's point is interesting and worth thinking about. We are in an environment right now where I think a lot of people are just fed up with establishment anything. And it is part of what happened to Lisa Damuth, which, by the way, if Lisa Damuth does not win the primary, file this under my biggest political surprise of the year. And look at her campaign and say, what happened to Lisa Damuth? Where did she go? Why did she disappear? She wasn't a part of the Republican debate that was on Almanac on Friday night. She has been omnipresent in old school television and video ads, outside groups, her. But that's sort of been it. I think she'll be at Farm Fest. And so I'll be curious to see how that goes down. The Lindell thing is very, very interesting. Texter saying everybody knows Amy Klobuchar is going to win the Democratic nomination, so I think that people on the Democratic side are pre-voting on the Republican side to get Mike as the nominee. So I understand the sort of drama king and drama queen desire to try to create this idea that Democrats are going to cross over. I don't think there is a chance at all that a Democrat would choose to mess with the Republicans on the governor's slate and skip the chance to weigh in on the Angie Craig, Peggy Flanagan Senate race. Because you can't vote for DFL Senate and GOP governor. You have to pick a side. So I just find it impossible to believe that any significant number of Democrats are going to take a pass on expressing their opinion in Angie Craig v. Peggy Flanagan. Texters, if Trump can do this much damage to Minnesota with a governor he hates, can you guess how much harm he could do with Lindell, a governor he loves? He could slash more Medicare and Medicaid.
Well, I don't know if I accept that premise, actually. Does Trump hate Minnesota or does Trump hate Tim Walz? And so if you have a governor that Trump likes, does that I don't think things are suddenly going to go great here, but I would suspect you get off the target list. And frankly, Amy Klobuchar checks that box too. She ran his inauguration.
Yeah.
So I think if Amy Klobuchar is the governor, I think the same sort of happens, that you get off the Trump hit list.
That may be true.
Depending on how she governed.
That may be true. But even if you're off the hit list, if you have a governor that cooperates with him,
well,
that's the danger that they're trying to point out.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Can it be worse than what we've had here?
Man, I don't want to find out.
Yeah, I don't think so. If Kendall Qualls cared at all about this state, he would drop out today and throw his support behind Lisa Damon, says a texter. Let's go to Gwen in her car. Gwen, thanks for listening and for calling. What do you want to say about Mike Lindell?
Well, first, I'm going to ask a question, and it might be inappropriate, but is he a felon?
Is Mike Lindell a felon? I'm not sure, to be honest. I know he's written quite a bit about his struggles with drugs, but as far as I can tell, he's not a felon. No felony convictions. Lots of civil lawsuits, but no felony, no crime type stuff.
But he did serve time in prison.
I don't think so. Did Lindell
I heard him
serve time in prison? I don't think so.
Can
yeah.
Can I say something about Amy Klobuchar?
Sure.
She kind of deserves to be governor. She has put on more miles flying back and forth from Washington to Minnesota. Everything that happens here, her pictures in the paper, she loves Minnesota. And I think she'd do a great job. And Mike Lindell, I'm sorry, but the picture I have in my mind is when Trump was running the first time and Mike Lindell was pounding on the White House door and they won't let him in.
Yeah. Thanks, Gwen. Appreciate it. It is like, to me, this is not where our state needs to go. We need serious politicians who are ready to solve problems, roll up their sleeves and work. We have a lot of work to be done in this state. And I don't want a circus. I want serious, boring candidates who can run and fix things. And that's where I'm at.
I'd also want to push back a little bit and just say, I don't think anybody deserves to be governor of the state of Minnesota.
Totally.
I think that's a awesome responsibility that the people of the state of Minnesota will bestow upon somebody, but I'm not sure anybody's owed that at all.
Texters, I'm a Republican. I think Lindell should lose. Amy Klobuchar is going to have a lot of fun replaying 2020 election troubles. On YouTube, Jacob says a lot of people like Damon. Trump should have endorsed her. Silver Guy asked about the new paid family leave law. The state just announced that they were going to set the premium at the same level they were last year, that they found the amount of money that's coming in compared to the amount of money that's going out. They believe that it's going to even out and be all right. We'll see. We'll see on that. I talked to a friend today who used that family leave law because every business has sort of changed. If they used to have a leave policy, now their new policy is go through the state program. So pretty interesting stuff there. There's a lot of work to be fixed there, but we really don't have the full financial picture yet because this first year you allowed, basically, if you were pregnant in 2025, you're allowed to file for leave in 2026. So we're starting to get a better sense as to how that's going to shake out. Let's break. Yesterday, our friend Mark Fry was talking to us about concert tickets, the concert at Target Field, and that on the resale market, his single ticket to the Noah Kahan show is selling for $500 a crack. Who is this guy? Why is it selling for $500? Chris Riebenschneider wrote about that in the Star Tribune today. He'll talk to us in just a minute.
This is Drive Time with DeRusha on News Talk 830 WCCO. Join the discussion.
I think it's important that our voices are heard.
That's going too far. If you can dish it out, you've got to be able to take it.
Have a different take? Call in.
I think you need to look at everything from both sides of the table.
Go for it, not with my tax dollars.
I have so many feelings about this.
And government can't fix that for you. Hello.
Got something to say? Say it here.
That's the viewpoint from a lot of us out in rural Minnesota.
News, views, and you. News Talk 830 WCCO.
At Wealth Enhancement, we believe wealth is in the details. Our team of trusted advisors craft personalized solutions to help you achieve your financial goals. Tune in to the Your Money Show on News Talk 830 WCCO every Sunday from 8 to 9 a.m. or go to wealthenhancement.com to connect with one of our advisors.
Chanhassen Dinner Theaters brings you the goods with the hit of the summer, Guys and Dolls. You got your delicious dinner. You got your great show. Heck, you got free parking. Such a deal. Guys and Dolls, it's hilarious, romantic, hit tunes like Luck Be a Lady and Sit Down, You're Rockin' the Boat. This is the high-rolling hit musical for the whole family, and it's your lucky day because I'm going to tell you how to score these tickets. Visit chanhassendt.com and you will hit the jackpot.
Dave Lee for Aquarius Home Services. If you're heading to the State Fair, between eating the cheese curds and delicious cookies, stop by the Connecticut Water Treatment booth in the Home Improvement Building. The team will show you how you can enjoy worry-free Connecticut water in your home every day. No worries if you can't make it to the fair. As your independent authorized dealer, Aquarius will bring the State Fair treatment to you. Schedule your free in-home water test at AquariusHomeservices.com.
Lisa Damuth, a Republican who delivers results.
And I led the charge in rooting out billions in fraud and waste.
To stop the fraud, you need a governor who won't back down. Lisa Damuth gets the job done. Lisa Damuth understands to make Minnesota affordable again, we must fight fraud. Lisa Damuth knows to create good-paying jobs for Americans, we must stop payments to illegal aliens.
I led the way to end taxpayer funding of health care for illegal immigrants.
In the legislature, Republican Lisa Damuth fought the fraudsters. Now, Lisa Damuth's running for governor.
Let's start our Minnesota comeback right here and right now.
America's PAC is responsible for the content of this advertising. Paid for by America's PAC and not authorized by any other candidate or committee. AmericasPAC527.com.
Well, it's official. My friends have all switched to Pure Talk because I told them they could save a bunch of money on a super reliable high-speed network with unlimited data. And because they're my friends, they trust me. As for the rest of you, well, Pure Talk understands that even though you might like me, you're not just going to take my word for it, nor should you. For that reason, and for a very limited time, Pure Talk is offering any of their plans for just $15 a month for the first 3 months, including their top-tier unlimited plan that normally sells for $65 a month. Think of it like a test drive, a super simple way to save $150 while you kick the tires on Pure Talk's blazing fast network, and a fine way to see for yourself why I switched from big wireless, along with a few 100,000 of my closest friends. Dial pound 250, say Mike Rowe, and be connected to Pure Talk's friendly U.S. customer service team. Again, dial pound 250, say Mike Rowe, and let the savings begin.
And Doug. Limu and I created a trick to help you remember that you can customize your car insurance and save with Liberty Mutual. You see, the shirts Limu and I wear are yellow, and yellow is the color of lemons. And lemons grow on trees, and trees provide oxygen. And oxygen helps us breathe, and breathing is how you live. And you can live more life when you save money by customizing your car insurance. I agree, Limu. It's really quite simple. Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty. Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
Traffic is brought to you by Verizon Business. 169 northbound, we have a collision near Plymouth between Rockford Road and 49th Avenue North. 47 southbound, an accident is being reported in Fridley between 61st and 57th Avenue Northeast. Verizon Business experts love small businesses, so they come directly to you on your schedule. Real experts and members of your community, learning firsthand about your unique business needs. with expertise tailored to you. Make an appointment with a Verizon business expert. Go to verizon.com/book today. That's Look at the Roads. I'm Darren Kmeyer, News Talk 830 WCCO.
All right, it's officially the most wonderful time of the year at Staples. They've got back-to-school supplies as low as 25 cents, up to 40% off select tech, 20% off for teachers, and more. Check out all the deals at staples.com/back-to-school. Staples, that was easy.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
All right, CCO forecast brought to you by Staples. Here is Chief Meteorologist Chris Schaefer.
A lovely night tonight. You can open up the windows and be quite comfortable. 59, the overnight low, not humid. Plenty of sunshine tomorrow with a high near 82. That's average this time of year. It does get breezy on Thursday. We'll keep that sunshine and warm up to the mid-80s. It does get a bit humid again on Friday.
Oh, I just saw a dew point chart, Dan. 70s, upper 70s, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Oh, no. So open those windows. Enjoy tonight. 76 in St. Paul on CCO.
The ride home deserves better conversation. Drive Time with DeRusha on News Talk 830 WCCO.
Vermont, but it's the season of the sticks, and I saw your mom. She forgot that I existed, and it's half my fault, but I just like to play the victim. I'll drink alcohol till my friends come home for Christmas.
I mean, it's good stuff. I like Noah Kahan. It's spelled Kahan, pronounced Khan. Noah Kahan tickets reselling at $500 a pop, says the headline on Chris Riemenschneider's latest piece at StarTribune.com, followed by the exact question I wanted to ask Chris, who's with us on the John Schuster Coldwell Banker Hotline. Please explain. I mean, no disrespect, but $500, and I just checked, Chris, the resale. It looks like you might be able to get in on SeatGeek for like $350, $400. This is big bucks for a ticket. For this guy, I thought.
Yeah, for such a newcomer. I mean, you know, people don't balk at paying that for like the Stones or something. But yeah, for someone that none of us heard of, a lot of us still haven't heard of. I was going to correct you, by the way, before the break. You pronounced it Kahan.
I know.
And no, and my niece. If you don't want Gen Zers to look at you like you're a complete idiot, you got to pronounce it Khan. Yeah. My niece corrected me on that.
That's where you got it.
I don't.
After I did the tease, I reread your story and I'm like, oh, it says right in there that I said it wrong. And that goes to like how surprising it is when our news guy Mark was saying that he's debating should he sell his tickets or not because he's had these tickets for a while. I was just startled that these tickets were going for this much money, and I like the music. I like the guy, but what happened here? How did he blow up in such a way?
Yeah, I don't. It really is kind of a phenomenon. I mean, we were excited, or we were completely surprised in 2024, which is right when Stick Season was getting to be a big song. I mean, it's only one big song,
right?
And he booked 2 nights at Excel Center, and we're like, what? He can't do 2 nights, and sure enough, he sold out both nights. So yeah, doing the ballpark is the next logical step up. You know, he was just kind of the right kind of nice guy, feel good, warm, cuddly singer-songwriter at the right time, kind of coming out of the pandemic and you know, kids streaming music. He's got his stuff is really emo. It's really you know, talking about, you know, some mental health issues, talking about isolation, which is kind of what Stick Season was about. Just kind of it refers to the kind of pre-winter season when everything's dark and gray and there isn't snow on the ground yet. And it just really connected with a young audience at the right time. And then so that did well. Then he did these duets. He did Dial Drunk with Post Malone. He did a duet with Hozier. He did a duet with Casey Musgrave. So it was really smart marketing in that sense. So then he kind of connected with an even broader audience. And then he this year he released a follow-up record, which was A Great Divide. And it really was a pretty strong follow-up record. It was kind of more of the same, but just really good songs, and it just deepened the connection in a big way. And And yeah, if people didn't jump on tickets right away, they've kind of been screwed. It's really been a pinch for them to try to figure out what to do.
It does certainly vindicate like the booking effort by who books the Target Field shows. Is it the Twins, or do they use somebody, or how does that go?
It's a Live Nation tour, so it's he's too. Live Nation runs the new amphitheater out in Shakopee. They would have loved to have had him out there, but he's too big for that place now. Which that place is huge with 19,000. But no, he's mostly playing ballparks this summer around the country, and they were in on him early. Hence the 2 nights at Excel Center 2 years ago, and he just keeps getting bigger, and it's kind of sweet. It's nice. I like seeing younger acts instead of the Stones or Styx or whoever drawing this kind of crowd. Not Styx doesn't draw that. That was a bad example,
right.
but I like seeing younger acts blow up like this. It's exciting, and those Excel Center shows, I reviewed those, and it really was he connected with the audience live too. They just singing as loud as can be. I think at the time I said it was the loudest audience sing along I'd heard since the Taylor Swift shows. It's that kind of singing every word super loud and passionately. It's that kind of show, and it's pretty emotional.
How much of this goes to like the TikTokification of our music world now? I mean, I've noticed I was listening to a new album this week, a new pop album, and just about every song is about 2 minutes and 45 seconds. And you think like, wow, we've got the songs are short. They all have that hook designed to be, reused and shared over and over and over on TikTok, or they're this very emotional, very personal style that we see with Noah Kahan.
Yeah, no, they're kind of meant to be posted with your personal video of your cuddling with your dog, or the really sweet stuff, or
Why are these singers so sad, Chris? I mean, the guy hit it big with the first album. Why are we so emo still?
Yeah, no, it's a very good question. I think post pandemic, these kids are connecting with the stuff that way, and I mean the radio has since picked up on him, but no, the Stick season really was a TikTok, totally a TikTok generated thing, he very much exemplifies the power of that, and some of the other streaming platforms too, but especially TikTok, really just that's how he blew up.
Chris Riemenschneider with us from the Star Tribune. You did point out that the fans are so dedicated. Last month on X, Noah posted this: if you have to poop at a show, please, dear God, just go to the bathroom. I poop my pants as much as the next 29-year-old, but you guys got to understand there's a venue worker out there with a 1,000-yard stare after dealing with that. Now, skipping over, how much are America's 29-year-old guys pooping their pants? I don't know, but pretty funny tweet by him. But this goes to something you wrote about in the story.
Yeah, no, it's kind of a bizarre thing. It's not completely unique to him, but because it's happened at like Olivia Rodrigo concerts too, where these young fans, they don't want to leave, they don't want to go to the bathroom, and they get there right at when they're waiting outside hours before doors open. They want to get right down front, and they don't want to move, and some of them are wearing diapers to not have to use the bathroom. And I mean, what Noah was reacting to was there were stories generated off of the show in Philadelphia at the Phillies ballpark that somebody just outright went number 2 on the field during the concert, and no.
I mean, that's fandom. That's fandom, but like, please, take a break, plan accordingly. There's an opening act, right? I mean, come on.
Right. I get embarrassed if I spill a little beer on me, Of course, that only happens when I'm not working, of course. But I can't imagine. That's just. But yeah, I mean, it underlines how there really is this deep emotional connection with this guy, and people, his young audience, and there's some older fans too. It's a little bit of kind of trained Google dolls. Older fans are really kind of getting into them too,
sort of lyrical guitar, that kind of personal storytelling. Yeah.
Exactly.
It'll be big Wednesday night at Target Field as the Twins are out of town. Tickets tough to come by, but if somebody offers you one, you might want to grab it for sure. Chris Riemenschneider.
Yeah, for sure. They're coming down a bit, but it's still a tough ticket. It's going to be a beautiful night, though. I love going to shows at the ballpark, so it'll be great.
They sound good too. Like, they do a great job. Thanks, Chris. Appreciate it. 3:48. We're going to break in a minute. Blois Olson checks in from Farm Fest. You're on CCO.
Drive Time with DeRusha. Tuned up and rolling. Thanks to Luther Kia of Bloomington.
Jason here to solve a problem for you. Insurance. Comparison shopping. Doesn't sound like a lot of fun, does it? The Canopy Group does all the work for you. That is why I'm so proud to tell their story. I'm a proud customer of the Canopy Group because it's so easy and it makes you think, why wasn't insurance always handled this way? Here's what's different about the Canopy Group. They do not work for the one insurance company that they have hanging on the shingle. Most of you have one agent, one company. That's it. That's the only option. The Canopy Group set up their business to work for you. They work for you. So you call in, you share your situation, and then they go to work. They have 16 different companies they can pull to match your zip code, your needs, your family, your house. The number is 800-967-3389. You call that number, or you go online, thecanopygroup.com. Get a quote today. I saved more than $800 my first year with the Canopy Group. See what they can do for you at thecanopygroup.com.
Is life insurance still on your list from earlier this year? Now is the perfect time to just get it done. A buddy told me that securing life insurance sooner rather than later can help you lock in lower rates for years to come. So I added this to my list this year and got it done. I called SelectQuote and was shocked at how easy and affordable life insurance is. I'm 40 and got a $500,000 policy for $18 a month. My wife's also 40 and her $5,000 policy was only $16 a month. Plus, with SelectQuote's same-day coverage, no medical exam was required, and we were covered by the time we hung up. Checking this off my list felt great, but the peace of mind knowing my family is protected feels even better.
Call SelectQuote at 1-800-280-5858 for your free quote today. That's 1-800-280-5858. Or go to SelectQuote.com. That's 1-800-280-5858. Details on example rate at SelectQuote.com.
Someone had a birthday.
Yep, 50. Can't believe it.
50 years of wisdom.
Great segue. We have a health reminder from the CDC.
Pneumococcal vaccination is recommended for adults 50 or older. Says here, we're over 6 times more likely to be hospitalized with pneumococcal pneumonia than adults under 50.
I don't love those odds.
Same. Look what I found. Pfizer's Prevnar 20 is proven to help protect adults against pneumococcal pneumonia and invasive pneumococcal disease in just 1 dose, and millions have already gotten it.
Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you have a severe allergy to its ingredients. A weakened immune system may lower your response. Common side effects include injection site pain and swelling, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138. Visit Prevnar20.com or talk to your doctor or pharmacist.
I'm on Prevnar20.com now, scheduling my appointment.
Good idea. And happy 50th.
Brought to you by Liberty Mutual Insurance. Only pay for what you need.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Brought to you by Liberty Mutual Insurance. Why pay? Only pay for what you need.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
Highway 47 southbound in Fridley is still dealing with that collision between 61st and 57th Avenue. The police are on scene. Highway 169 southbound has lots of brake lights just south of 494 all the way down to the Minnesota River. And 94 eastbound is congested from Highway 280 over to the tunnel, so expect some extra time as you're headed into Minneapolis. That's a look at the roads. I'm Darren Kmeyer, News Talk 830 WCCO.
Type JTR on your computer for roofing, siding, gutters, windows, and more. Serving the Twin Cities Metro. For a free estimate, visit jtrroofinginc.com.
JTR, roofing and siding, that's who we are.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
DeRusha delights back to back to back. JTR Roofing bringing us the weather forecast tonight. Partly cloudy, low of 59. Open the windows. Tomorrow, low humidity, 82. Thursday, a little warmer, 85, a little breezy, and warmer and humid over the weekend. Right now in downtown Minneapolis, 76 on CCO.
Jason DeRusha.
I'm dropping bombs of genius every day on this show.
On News Talk 830 WCCO.
All right, tomorrow is the big day at Farm Fest when you have an election season, and Blois is going to be moderating a conversation, not quite a debate, but a panel among candidates, governor candidates tomorrow, and Senate candidates as well. But we want to check in with Blois up at Farm Fest right
Hey, Jason.
now. Hey, Blois.
Hey, Jason. I'm at Farm Fest, and of course I had to stop by the Minnesota pork tent for you. I'm with Lori Stevemer. She's a pork farmer. And Lori, what are we talking about? What are folks asking about here at Farm Fest today?
I think there's a variety of topics, on the political scene, all the candidates, discussions there. I think for, the pork industry, big issues like USMCA, which is trade, exports, things like that are on people's minds. But we're also hearing about cost of production and inputs for our farms and even things like healthcare in rural America.
What are the mood of pork farmers right now? Obviously, Minnesota is a huge pork state, number 2 in the country. But what do farmers need in Minnesota?
Well, I would say we are cautiously optimistic. I mean, we've had, profitability in our industry. Our inputs have been lower, corn and soybeans. Production prices have been good. Our market prices have been good. So I think overall, guarded optimism. We want to, of course, always see trade. And Mexico is our number 1 export market. So, continuing to get pork there. 40% of our hams go there. I mean, that's really key. I would also say, disease is always on our minds as producers. So a lot of focus on biosecurity and pig health and what we can do to reduce the incidence of disease in our herds.
There's been, chatter about the next farm bill. Is there anything particular that pork farmers need in the next farm bill?
Yeah, absolutely. We've been waiting a long time for a farm bill. And for us as pork farmers, our number 1 issue there is Prop 12, which is basically the state of California dictating to other states, production practices and square footage. So the House passed their version of the farm bill that had a federal solution for Prop 12. We're waiting for the Senate. The initial language doesn't have anything in there, so we're hopeful that maybe something ends up in there, or they can go to conference and we can end up with some type of solution overall in the farm bill.
You talk about input costs being lower, new markets. As you look to the future, obviously proteins have become more popular. Do you see that demand coming and staying?
Yeah, I mean, whether it's domestically or internationally, I mean, protein is having a moment. So if we just look internationally, often that's due to other countries' wealth increasing, their standard of living, they buy better sources of protein. So there's opportunity, especially Southeast Asia, Philippines, Vietnam, but even some South American countries. Domestically, I mean, with protein having a moment, the desire to have a compact protein, especially with people going on the GLP-1s, so they don't eat a lot, but they still need protein. And that's where pork fits in really great. 3 ounces of pork is about 22 grams of protein. So I know that Pork Board works on promotion image, and their new slogan, Taste What Pork Can Do, really fits into that excitement and opportunity to increase that domestic consumption.
Lori, thanks for joining me.
Thank you.
Jason, back to you. My Farm Fest reports are brought to you by Compeer Financial.
Very good, Blois Olson at Farm Fest in Redwood County, Minnesota. Tomorrow, the big forum. A little bit of controversy as Adam Schwarzy, the Republican-endorsed Senate candidate, was not invited to participate. And Schwarzy has been pretty ticked about that on social media. I'm not quite sure what the criteria was that the Farm Fest people said he didn't meet to be invited to that thing. No. But, you know, why did you just invite
I'm surprised he's angry. He's usually such a even-keeled fellow with it.
He was real friendly when he came on with me. You can find that podcast for sure by searching Drive Time with DeRusha. Continental Diamond Time Check 358.
Chillin', minding my business. You know the feeling when your body is tired, but your brain just won't shut off? We've all been there. Jordana here. That's where CBN comes in. CBN, short for cannabinol, is a naturally occurring hemp cannabinoid known for its relaxing, sleepy effects. Think of it like the lights dimming signal for your brain. While CBD helps you stay calm, CBN helps your body know it's time to rest. That's why we call it CB Night Night. Mini Leaf Night and Night Plus Sleep Gummies combine CBN, CBD, and CBG to help you fall asleep faster and stay asleep longer, and then wake up feeling refreshed. Go to minileaf.com, MINNELEAF.com, minileaf.com, the home of Minnesota's best legal products. And tell them Jordana sent you.
Everywhere you look, things are getting more expensive. But at Consumer Cellular, we're lowering the price for those 50 and up. Now you can get unlimited everything for just $35 a line. That's $35 a month for unlimited talk, text, and data. Switch to the carrier ranked #1 in network coverage and customer satisfaction and get unlimited everything for just $35 a month. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit Consumer Cellular online or in-store today. Price includes $5 credit for auto pay and emailing. Taxes and fees apply. Data speeds reduced after 35 gigabytes. Rankings done by 2025 ACSI survey.
Minnesota's home for headlines, hijinks, and home runs. News Talk 830 WCCO 1029 HD2 Minneapolis, St. Paul.
From ABC News, I'm Chuck Severson. The House Ethics Committee today formally announced an investigation into Congressman Max Miller for alleged domestic violence and abuse or illegal drug use. Miller has denied allegations. Sources tell ABC News that President Trump called Miller, telling him his re-election campaign's in jeopardy. ABC's Peter Harlambous.
Miller has faced accusations of abuse by at least two different women, former White House Press Secretary Stephanie Grisham and Emily Moreno, the daughter of Senator Bernie Moreno of Ohio. He told reporters today that he believes Miller's unfit for office.
My daughter lives in constant fear of this man.
Responding to Emily Moreno's accusations, including that he threw her against a wall and held a gun to her head, Miller tried to discredit his ex-wife.
If I had assaulted her, would she have offered to cook me dinner 6 days later?
Miller's running for re-election, and he's denied the allegations, sued both women for defamation, and called for a House ethics investigation into his own conduct. Peter Harlambous, ABC News.
Bails $1 million for a man arrested for allegedly starting the largest of the 3 wildfires in Spokane, Washington, that destroyed hundreds of buildings and forced tens of thousands of people from their homes. He went to prison for manslaughter in his father's 2010 killing in Arizona. ABC's Alex Stone in Spokane.
Today, some of the evacuation orders are being lifted or they are being at least lessened where people can start coming back. A lot of the evacuees are now able to come in and start seeing what remains.
Acting Attorney General and AG nominee Todd Blanche has been confirmed by the Senate Judiciary Committee. He can only afford to lose 2 Republican votes in the full Senate vote ahead. On Wall Street, the Dow and S&P 500 closed at new records as stocks rallied on hopes of an Iran deal, lower oil prices, and strong corporate earnings. Oil continued to drop, U.S. and Brent crude finishing $75 and $79 a barrel. You're listening to ABC News.
Minnesota's trusted voice, every hour. Let's get you caught up with what's happening now on News Talk 830 WCCO.
Mostly cloudy, 76 degrees at 4:02. I'm Laura Oakes. A message today from Minneapolis police and fire for people who trespass in abandoned buildings in the city.
This after an 18-year-old was gravely injured after falling inside an abandoned grain elevator.
This individual fell 20 stories, and it is miraculous that they are alive.
Minneapolis police spokesperson Garrett Parton joining the city's interim fire chief, Melanie Rucker, on that fall and the dangers of urban exploration.
You know, it could be chemicals, asbestos, shards of glass, unstable floors. The structure is unstable and, alone.
She says they have seen a jump in the number of incidents this year and are asking that people call 911 if they see this kind of activity. Susie Jones, News Talk 830 WCCO.
As more allegations surface on what prompted St. Paul Police Chief Axel Henry's sexual harassment complaint against Mayor Cully Herr, there's no word on when the formal investigation, which started this spring, will be complete. Chief Henry's attorney, Chris Maddle, telling WCCO's Chad Hartman today there's more to come out about the mayor's behavior that hasn't yet been released.
We are just seeing somebody that, frankly, is at best odd and at worst unhinged. And I think it's just going to get worse.
Mayor Herr released an initial statement last week saying some of her attempts at humor fell short and that she would not resign. WCCO Radio has reached out to her office for comment and has not heard back. TSA officials officially finishing rolling out a new touchless pre-check option for travelers at MSP Airport. The new system uses cameras at checkpoints that verify passengers' identities through digital facial recognition. Regional spokesperson Jessica Maley says the aim is to create a more convenient airport experience.
Upload your passport image, you opt in. Then when you get your boarding pass and you check in for your flight, you will see a different type of pre-check indicator on your boarding pass.
It is the first Tuesday of August, and hundreds, if not thousands, of block parties are planned for National Night Out. The community policing awareness-raising event dates back to 1984. And some eye-popping prices for tomorrow night's Noah Kahan show at Target Field.
Ticket prices have reached levels that are even surprising to Ticket King president Mike Nowakowski.
It's insane. For a concert that at a venue this large, to see just the entry level price at over $400 per ticket is, that's unheard of.
He says Noah Kahan draws fans young and old, adding that it proves outdoor music reigns supreme in Minnesota.
There's just a natural draw for people in Minnesota to want to go see a show outside because, for such a large part of the year, that isn't a possibility because of weather.
Mark Fry, News Talk 830 WCCO.
In WCCO News Time is 4:05.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
Traffic is brought to you by Liuna, Minnesota. Visit buildthenorth.com. Highway 47 southbound in Fridley has two cars on the shoulder between 61st and 57th Avenue. Things are slow and go over there, so be prepared. Highway 55 eastbound in Minneapolis has an incident between 54th Street and Crosstown 62 area there. Liuna, Minnesota reminds you to slow down when you see orange cones and yellow vests all year round. They are working to improve your infrastructure and build a better Minnesota for you. So please slow down, save lives, and keep construction workers safe. Brought to you by Liuna, Minnesota. Visit buildthenorth.com. That's a look at the roads. I'm Darren Kmeyer, News Talk 830 WCCO.
For the best windows in the business that are made to order just for you, an array of styles, features that will fit your project and budget, only one way to go. My friends with Pella Windows and Doors, PellaNorthland.com. Tell me, heard this from Chad.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
Brought to you by Pella Windows Northland. Here's WCCO TV Chief Meteorologist Chris Schaefer.
It's a windows open kind of night tonight. It won't be humid. We'll cool back to 59, even cooler outside of the metro. Mostly sunny tomorrow, a bump warmer with a high up around 82. Sunny again on Thursday, even warmer with a high in the mid-80s. It will be a bit breezy. It gets even warmer on Friday.
Mostly cloudy right now, 76 at News Talk 830 WCCO.
Because you like your news fast and accurate, and your opinions honest and sharp. News Talk 830 WCCO. Good questions. Topics you'll probably talk about at dinner. Places to go for dinner. This is the Ride Home Reimagined. Welcome to Drive Time with DeRusha. Thanks to Luther Kia of Bloomington. Now, here's Jason DeRusha.
Well, we're going to find out in 1 week if Minnesota Democrats are going to vote for the more moderate candidate or the more progressive candidate. In this state, we do not have a socialist on the ballot. I know that's going to upset some of you who think Peggy Flanagan is a socialist, but I asked her on this show. She has said she is a Democrat. There are socialist candidates all around the country, including a Democratic candidate for governor right across the border in Wisconsin. Many of our listeners will have the chance to vote in the primary in Wisconsin. But Democrats all around the country have a problem. And the problem is partially socialist candidates running inside the Democratic Party. It's the same problem that I think Republicans faced when MAGA Republicans were taking over that party, and we saw how it ended. MAGA is Republican. That is the party now. Will the Democratic Party become DSA, socialist? Maybe. I don't know. We'll see. In Wisconsin, you have a choice. You do have a chance to vote for a state representative by the name of Francesca Hong. But if Democrats want to win elections, especially younger Democrats, there is one word that would be useful in their lexicon, in their answers to questions. One word. I'm going to play an interaction that Francesca Hong had with CNN when she was asked about a post she made on Twitter about Thanksgiving.
That they brought up as well was a post from you in 2021 where you said Americans should cancel Thanksgiving, should have done this in 1621. The post has been deleted. Republicans have been highlighting it. Do you still believe that Thanksgiving should be canceled?
Wait. Okay. Now put yourself, you're on CNN. You're running for governor of the state. 651-461-9226. What would you say to that question? What would you say? Hey, in 2020, you said that we should cancel Thanksgiving. You still think we should cancel Thanksgiving? This is, in the interview world, we would call this a layup scenario, right? We've all posted some weird stuff on social media. And in fact, right now, if you'd like to dig through all of my old posts, how many posts do you think I have on Twitter over the years? It used to
tens of thousands.
It used to say, didn't it?
Yeah.
Does it no longer say that?
I don't know. I haven't gone looking.
I don't see it.
Elon took it away. Maybe if you paid him some more money, he'd let you know how many.
It used to say on my account like X number of posts. And for me, it is just a horrifying number that indicates how many better things I could have done with my life. But I feel like this is a pretty easy question that our friend, State Representative Francesca Hong had thrown at her. Right? Once you posted that we should cancel Thanksgiving. Now, do people have complicated emotions about Thanksgiving? Well, weirdos do, right? Normal people, you know what sort of complicated emotions we have about Thanksgiving? It's like, what wine do we pair with cranberry sauce? And are you into, do you want chestnuts in the dressing, or do you go with stovetop? Do you cook it in the bird? or out of the bird? Is it okay to do prime rib instead of turkey? I mean, these are the questions that most have. These are the questions. And so I would suggest that the word no, just no, 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 nope. No would be a good answer, right? Or yes, I guess. Like if you're nuts, you should say yes. It's yes or no. It's not, well, it's not this.
Do you still believe that Thanksgiving should be canceled?
I'm a chef, and one of the first meals that I made that was for the community when I was 16 was a Thanksgiving meal. You know, I always think
So yes.
my hospitality background in owning a restaurant for 7-8 years, that bringing folks around the table to share conversation and build community is always a good thing.
Oh, so you like Thanksgiving.
But Thanksgiving is also a time that's incredibly painful for many people in our communities. And so I think I wanted to make sure that people understood that there are
My
multiple
in-laws are
views,
annoying,
but views can evolve. And the position that I'm running
they
for
evolve.
right now, and I think my background as a chef will actually help me become a better governor that's able to bring more people to the table.
Huh? What? Huh? When did politicians decide that this was what we wanted? Now, Caitlin Collins, who was doing the interview, who is very good. I like Caitlin Collins a lot. She must have been up against the clock because then that was that. But like, don't you just want to say like, well, like yes or no? Like, are you in or out? Being anti-Thanksgiving was, I get it. It was a woke sort of Thanksgiving celebrates like Native Americans getting screwed is basically what Thanksgiving celebrates. And, if you want to cancel Thanksgiving because you can't stand getting together with your family, like I understand. Or maybe you just don't like turkey. Maybe you're not a fan of turkey. Maybe you once drove way out of your way to go visit Plymouth Rock and were so disappointed to find out it's just like a rock. That's it. It's not a boulder. It's just a rock. Maybe you've got some sort of issue with the Nina or the Santa Maria, maybe the Pinta. None of my business. Just say no. Just say no. There is a whole generation of 27 to 35-year-olds that are going to be running for office and are going to be elected mayors and governors and senators. And it is reasonable to ask about crazy stuff that is out of the mainstream that you posted. And you have a choice. Your choice is to either say, you know what, I was a kid. I was trying to get social media likes. I was posting what my peer group was talking about at that time. And no, I do not believe that we should cancel Thanksgiving. I do believe that we should learn the complete history of the colonization of this country. I do believe that we should respect and understand that people have different views. But we also don't need to put ourselves in bubble wrap and be these crazy, we have to cancel this. Someone's feeling might be hurt. We have to get rid of that. We have to get rid of that. No, we don't. We don't. And I do think that there are many positions that the left has that are very popular. In fact, they're more popular than I think the media would give them credit for. If you think about it, what are the positions of the far left right now? Universal health care, universal child care, legalizing cannabis, free school lunches. A lot of this stuff is pretty darn popular, pretty darn mainstream. Now, some of the other stuff, abolishing police, No, not mainstream. Was mainstream, though, in 2020 among the left. Was mainstream among the left. I think today it's not. And I think as a voter, it's reasonable to be like, it's fine. If the left doesn't learn the word no, or this was a bad idea, or I don't believe that anymore, they're going to lose elections, I think. And it allows this narrative to take place that, like, your popular opinions, well, you must be crazy on that, too, because you want to get rid of Thanksgiving. Well, who in Wisconsin is going to vote for a governor who wants to abolish Thanksgiving? Ridiculous. Drive Time back in just a minute here on CCO.
Drive Time with DeRusha is fueled by Luther Kia of Bloomington. Always online at lutherkiaofbloomington.com.
Guys, hair loss. It's something you think about. No matter what your age is, you think about hanging on to what you have, preventing what you have from falling out. If you're a mom or a dad, you might have teenagers, young men in your life who are worried about that hairline. Tureen Dermatology wants to help. It's Jason from my dermatologist, Dr. Mohiba Tureen, and the entire team at Tureen Dermatology. August is Hair Loss Awareness Month. And the best thing you can do is prevention, right? And dermatologists are all about this because your scalp is skin. It's all about the interplay between what's going on the inside, what's happening on the outside. The earlier you get treated and evaluated, the better the opportunity to hang on to and even regrow hair. When you go see any one of the specialists at Tureen Dermatology at one of their 11 locations, they start with an individual evaluation. Board-certified dermatology provider is going to hook you up with a personalized treatment plan. Platelet-rich plasma, PRP, I've used that. Very effective. Use your own platelets, and it stimulates, sort of wakes up those hair follicles, gets them going again. They've got scalp hydrofacials. They've got Keralase, which is a laser technology combined with a growth factor serum. So many options, things that you maybe didn't even know were out there. Make the appointment today. Tureen is Tareen, dermatology.com.
Lisa Damuth, a Republican who delivers results.
And I led the charge in rooting out billions in fraud and waste.
To stop the fraud, you need a governor who won't back down. Lisa Damuth gets the job done. Lisa Damuth understands to make Minnesota affordable again, we must fight fraud. Lisa Damuth knows to create good-paying jobs for Americans, we must stop payments to illegal aliens.
I led the way to end taxpayer funding of health care for illegal immigrants.
In the legislature, Republican Lisa Damuth fought the fraudsters. Now, Lisa Damuth's running for governor.
Let's start our Minnesota comeback right here and right now.
America's PAC is responsible for the content of this advertising. Paid for by America's PAC and not authorized by any other candidate or committee. AmericasPAC527.com.
Hair Volume from New Nordic will make your hair look thick and healthy. Available as a tablet or delicious gummy. Hair Volume is available online at Amazon and NewNordicUSA.com or in the hair care aisle at your local CVS.
This is the story of the one who keeps multiple buildings running smoothly day after day. Plumbing that flows, HVAC that hums, cleaning supplies that keep surfaces sparkling. That's why she counts on Grainger. With easy reordering online and 24/7 support, Grainger helps her keep the products she needs on hand. So shelves stay stocked and buildings stay ready. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
New Game Plus with Oxy makes your laundry smell incredible and fights stubborn smells, like the ones your dog Biscuit brought into your freshly made bed last night. But you washed that all away with Game, and now you're drifting asleep to the scent and sound of waves. Ah, no, that's the dog licking your ear.
Biscuit.
It just might be our greatest scent ever, now with odor-fighting power. New Game Plus with Oxy.
Let's make this summer your best summer ever. Jason here for Luther Kia of Bloomington, and Luther Kia Bloomington wants to upgrade your ride. Outstanding prices. $399 a month. Sign and drive lease offers on Seltos, Sportage, Nero, and K5. Get out of here. Plus $750 owner loyalty cash on the stunning Kia Telluride and the Telluride Hybrid. Best cars for the money on the market. Check out their brand new facility, now open at 35W and 494. Luther Kia of Bloomington.com.
You're listening to Drive Time with DeRusha.
He's an operator, baby. Yes.
On News Talk 830 WCCO.
You know what day today is? Do you know, Dan Cook? Do you know what day today is?
Oh, I know.
It's Tuesday. And here on WCCO Radio on Tuesdays, we give away tickets to Twins games. Twins Ticket Tuesday. So caller 3,
Not now.
When you hear the Win Twins sounder. By the way, Twins Ticket Tuesday driven by Luther Kia of Bloomington, which I was just out there earlier this week. Got a set of new tires. My car is so much quieter now. With the tires make a big difference, it turns out. You can check them out at Luther Kia of Bloomington.com. Twins are out of town all week. But when they come back, caller 3 will get a 4-pack of tickets for Sunday, August 16th. Bryce Harper is going to be here in the Phillies of Philadelphia. And Sundays are fun, too. I've been out there with my nephews because it's free ice cream day. And the first 5,000 kids on August 16th get 12 and under, get a back-to-school backpack. That's pretty cool. So get your tickets at twins.com/tickets. And we'll be giving those tickets away at some time today. Disturbing story from KSTP this over the last couple days, where they were taking a look at all the fraudsters who have been convicted. This has been a pretty major talking point. It's going to be a bigger issue as the Attorney General's race leads into a general election campaign, because Keith Ellison has been part of the talking point from Keith Ellison and from Governor Tim Walz has been, look, we prosecute. All these guys are getting convicted. The fraudsters are getting convicted. So this idea that Democrats did nothing about fraud, give me a break. Look at all these convictions. Channel 5 said maybe we should find out like what sort of punishment these folks actually got. And what KSTP found out is that the number of people who were sentenced to a felony was minuscule. So they found 250 Medicaid fraud cases where the defendant pleaded guilty. Only 80% got sentences that would reduce or dismiss No. 80% got sentences that would reduce or dismiss the felony conviction after probation. So 80% of the people who pled guilty to felony fraud will have that disappear. Now, are there still consequences? Yeah, the Attorney General said, look, if you're charged with Medicaid fraud, you're barred from working in Medicare or Medicaid-related jobs. You're required to pay restitution. Although the truth is, people who are required to pay restitution generally don't. I don't blame Keith Ellison for this, but I do blame our sentencing guidelines for this. I do think our sentencing guidelines treat fraud sort of like the way we thought about fraud maybe 10 years ago, 5 years ago, that we thought it wasn't as devastating as it turns out to be. We thought it was maybe between you and whatever company you were ripping off, or even if you're ripping off Medicare, feels like you're ripping off the federal government. I think we know now that these fraudsters have completely undermined confidence in our government. They've undermined confidence. Well, I think it actually goes way beyond government. We have an intense skepticism that people are out there looking to rip off Minnesota left and right. I mean, we had federal prosecutors alleging that, I mean, what was the number, Dan, that they finally threw out? Like $8 billion of fraud? I mean, some of the numbers that have been thrown around have been massive. We haven't seen that charged yet, to be honest. Do I think there's more fraud out there that hasn't been discovered? Sure. But most people convicted of fraud are going to be a first-time offender. And so the truth is, if you have a first-time felony, you're likely to get, especially for a financial crime like this, you're likely to get sentenced to a pretty low-level sentence. You're likely not serving prison time. No matter what the fraud amount is, if you have little to no criminal history under the Minnesota sentencing guidelines, you don't get sent to prison. So when they take credit for we busted 250 people, well, they did. And again, I'm not blaming the attorney general, but I'm saying I'm not throwing you a parade for that. And I do think we need tougher sentencing guidelines for fraud. Last week, the attorney general did write to the Sentencing Guidelines Commission, adding them. So basically, there's a new category, a new law that the legislature created last session. So if you rip off medical assistance to the tune of more than $1 million, that's a special crime. And the attorney general said, look, we should make this should be ranked as a more serious crime. I mean, frankly, a lot of this stuff is stuff that we never had to think about before. You know what I mean? I don't think it was a little bit of a luxury that we didn't have to worry about what is the sentencing guideline for fraud in Minnesota because we just didn't think it was happening that much. Maybe we just weren't looking. It was happening. These 300 convictions is what the attorney general said they have won against Medicaid fraudsters. These are state prosecutions. There is a Medicaid fraud control unit, the small team of attorneys and investigators in the attorney general's office. So these were state charges. 300 convictions, 250 are people who just pleaded guilty. And of those 250, the vast majority, nearly 80%, if they can finish their probation without trouble, they won't have a felony on their record. I think that's outrageous. I think it's outrageous. We're going to break in a minute. $10 burgers. Want to talk about something that sounds outrageous? That is rare to find at nice restaurants around the Twin Cities. Next week, the first Minnesota Burger Week. It's your chance to get burgers at a ton of different restaurants for just $10 a pop. One of them is joining us in studio. LeBurger will be with us for DeRusha Eats in just a minute.
Time with DeRusha on News Talk 830 WCCO.
The real estate market is challenging right now. It's Jason. We had Chris Lindell on the show yesterday. You can check it out via podcast or on our YouTube channel. Just click the video link. But the reality is we're not a buyer's market. We're not a seller's market. We're in this sort of stagnated, scary market for a lot of sellers in particular. And the uncertainty of the open market has more and more people reaching out to chrislindahl.com and finding out more about the guaranteed cash offer. There is a reason that you're seeing more and more of your neighbors joining the Big Red Check Club. Why are they joining the club? Why are they saying yes to the guaranteed cash offer and the Big Red Check? It's because of the uncertainty. You list your home on the open market right now. My next door neighbor has been on the open market for 47 days, taken 2 price reductions. What's the problem? Is it the economy? Is it the house isn't upgraded enough? Is the price unrealistic? Who knows? They're all stressors that you don't have to deal with if you take advantage of the guaranteed cash offer. See if it makes sense for you. That's all. ChrisLindahl.com. Get to the website, get the free Smart Seller Guide, and if it works out, say yes to a big red check.
This is the standard Minnesota radio listener certification exam. Please answer each question honestly. Okay. How often do you listen to News Talk 830 WCCO?
Most mornings, every afternoon, usually a bit in the evening.
Have you ever continued listening in a parked vehicle after reaching your destination?
Well, sometimes the conversation is so good.
So yes.
Technically.
We don't recognize technically. Complete this sentence. I heard something interesting this morning.
On CCO.
I see. Final question. Have you ever constructed a life-size replica of a WCCO host out of butter?
How did you know that?
Congratulations. You're officially certified.
There are listeners of News Talk 830 WCCO, and then there are fans. The question is, which one are you?
I'm here with Alec Sherrod, a top mergers and acquisitions attorney with Helmuth & Johnson. Alec, Minnesota laws can be complex. How do you make sure you're on the right path?
At Helmuth & Johnson, we help businesses and individuals navigate Minnesota's laws with clarity and confidence. We understand how Minnesota's laws and courts work, and we guide you every step of the way.
So it's not just knowing the law, it's knowing Minnesota.
Exactly. Practical advice, local experience, real solutions.
If you're looking to buy or sell a business, go to hjlawfirm.com. Helmuth & Johnson, on your side, at your side.
Liberty Mutual customizes your car and home insurance. And now we're customizing this late-night ad to make you more alert, which could help your driving. And science tells us that pulsing beats, faster, stimulating audio like traveling sound, and voices on the higher,
so-called brighter end of the audio spectrum like this can encourage focus.
Also, a familiar tune can help. So,
Liberty, 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 liberty. You know that feeling when your body is tired, but your brain just won't shut off? We've all been there. Jordana here. That's where CBN comes in. CBN, short for cannabinol, is a naturally occurring hemp cannabinoid known for its relaxing, sleepy effects. Think of it like the lights dimming signal for your brain. While CBD helps you stay calm, CBN helps your body know it's time to rest. That's why we call it CB Night Night. Mini Leaf Night and Night Plus Sleep Gummies combine CBN, CBD, and CBG to help you fall asleep faster and stay asleep longer, and then wake up feeling refreshed. Go to minileaf.com, MINNELEAF.com, minileaf.com, the home of Minnesota's best legal products. And tell them Jordana sent you.
Well, it's official. My friends have all switched to Pure Talk because I told them they could save a bunch of money on a super reliable high-speed network with unlimited data. And because they're my friends, they trust me. As for the rest of you, well, Pure Talk understands that even though you might like me, you're not just going to take my word for it, nor should you. For that reason, and for a very limited time, Pure Talk is offering any of their plans for just $15 a month for the first 3 months, including their top-tier unlimited plan that normally sells for $65 a month. Think of it like a test drive, a super simple way to save $150 while you kick the tires on Pure Talk's blazing fast network, and a fine way to see for yourself why I switched from big wireless, along with a few 100,000 of my closest friends. Dial pound 250, say Mike Rowe, and be connected to Pure Talk's friendly U.S. customer service team. Again, dial pound 250, say Mike Rowe, and let the savings begin.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
Watch out for some debris in Minnetonka on 494 northbound between 12394 there and the Carlson Parkway exit. 94 eastbound also has reports of debris in Maple Grove between 610 and Maple Grove Parkway. 55 eastbound in Minneapolis is still dealing with that incident between 54th and Highway 62, so plan some extra time. Lots of red on the map out there throughout the metro, so plan extra time if you're headed out on the roads. That's a look at the traffic. This is Darren with WCCO News Talk 830.
Launchpad Golf, the Meadows in Prior Lake is your family and friends hangout. Chef-driven menu, in-range shot tracking tech, and golf every weekday with the Summer Players Card for one payment of just $199. Book your suite tonight at launchpadgolf.com.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
Launchpad Golf bringing us the weather. Here's Chris.
A lovely night tonight. You can open up the windows and be quite comfortable. 59, the overnight low, not humid. Plenty of sunshine tomorrow with a high near 82. That's average this time of year. It does get breezy on Thursday. We'll keep that sunshine and warm up to the mid-80s. It does get a bit humid again on Friday.
Right now it's beautiful, 76 on CCO.
Steering you through what matters. Drive Time with DeRusha. Tuned up and rolling thanks to Luther Kia of Bloomington.
DeRusha, he has the eats.
Nobody brings you the Twin Cities restaurant scene like your favorite foodie. Now, Jason explores some of the great chefs, owners, and stories right in our own backyard. Drive Time now transitions into DeRusha Eats.
DeRusha Eats is talking about burgers today because we are a couple of days away from the very first Minnesota Burger Week. And we love burgers. You guys love burgers, but we love bargains. And as of about an hour ago, there are 60 different restaurants around Minnesota that are taking part in this Minnesota Burger Week. And all of them are selling a burger for $10, which with the cost of beef right now is a heck of a deal. Heck of a deal. Josh Hoyt is with us. He's the owner-operator of LeBurger in Linden Hills and in Cleveland, naturally.
Of course.
Why, Josh, why wouldn't you be in Minneapolis and in Cleveland? It makes perfect sense. It's good to see you.
Yeah, you too. Thanks for having me.
What made you want to get involved in the Burger Week?
Well, we are LeBurger, so it felt odd not to be involved. But no, honestly, I've never really done restaurant weeks or anything like that. But
well, you guys have only been around for
a couple years this fall, yeah. But but in any place I've ever operated, never really got involved. But I really like the fact that they have this app. They're kind of gamifying it. Having people do rewards for how many burgers they try, and it just felt like a fun, more playful way to do a week like this.
You can get that app if you go to mnburgerweek.com. It's got the links for Google Play or for the App Store. 60 different burgers. Talk about LeBurger, because you guys from the beginning had, I think, maybe a more chef-driven approach to creating like a quick serve burger experience. It's not, despite the it's not pretentious at all in your restaurant.
Yeah, that's right. So, my chef partner and I, we used to run the Bachelor Farmer. And so we had an ethos surrounding quality of ingredients and care for, the process and care for hospitality. And we really, we wanted to not do fine dining, but do something that was fast casual, something that just anybody could come, bring their family to. We're tucked into a beautiful little neighborhood in Linden Hills. And so we just wanted to bring that quality of ingredients and preparation to something as classic and simple as a burger.
If you're watching on our YouTube stream or you want to check it out later, I'm holding up the LeBurger. Is this the burger that's going to be on special next week?
Is, yeah. That just has our La Sauce, because we're super French. Some house pickles, Cooper's American cheese. We smash our burgers with a miso, tamari miso kind of wash, some really thinly shaved onions, and do a great house seasoning.
Have you been surprised how sort of viral you guys have gone? Not in like a disease sort of way, but in a social media sort of way?
Definitely. I mean, it's been very cool. We got the mention in Food and Wine magazine, which was a total shocker for us. And you actually put a viral video out there for us when we first opened. I think we saw a lot of great traction from. So it has been shocking, but it's been very welcome.
When I did my LeBurger video, which, by the way, all the time people are asking me, like, how much did you guys pay me to do that video? How much did you pay me to do this video?
I charged you and your wife for burgers.
I'm pretty sure I paid. I believe the net for me is negative. I lost money on this video. But the other thing I got in this video, because I talked about your French fries.
Yeah.
And I referred to the fries as creamy.
Yeah. You got grief for that, huh?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Which you will not be surprised to hear that when you are the parent of a high school senior, he and his friends all thought it was quite hilarious that dad had a video. So after they graduated, Sam and his buddies went to LeBurger.
Sure.
Just to see if the fries were creamy as I promised.
Were they?
Yeah, they said they're really good fries.
Yeah.
I'm like, I know. I know. When it comes to, the reason I said they were creamy is because that's for me is ideal for a French fry. I want the crunchy outside, but I want the inside to taste like potato.
Right. And
Yeah.
I mean, that's exactly right. And we put a ton of work into making that happen. It's water blanch, chill them, low temp oil blanch, freeze them, fry them for 6 minutes to order. It's a labor of love, but they're well worth it.
I mentioned at the beginning that you guys have another restaurant in Ohio. Can you explain that?
Yeah, one of our partners, John Gross, had a development buddy who has this, big mixed use building in Cleveland and some restaurants going on there. A car actually ran into the side of the building and shut them down. And so he reached out to John and said, "Hey, I know you have restaurant things. People. You want to come take a look?" So we checked it out, fired up a LeBurger in one of the spaces.
That's pretty good. John Gross, good dude.
Yeah, very good dude.
Yeah, that's cool. Any plans for more LeBurgers in the Minnesota area?
I'm always looking for opportunities. It's got to be the right space and the right neighborhood. And once we see it, we'll know, and likely.
Do you have a favorite burger outside of your own restaurant?
Matt's.
Yeah. Classic. Well, I'm looking at the list for Minnesota Burger Week. You got 5-8 Club, you got Birch's, Black Forest Inn, Brunson's. I love Brunson's Pub in St. Paul. Burger Dive is another good one. Cowboy Jack's, Crave. All over the place, including like Francis Burger joints. So if you want like a non-meat scenario, they're on the list too.
Yeah, very nice.
Ideal burger for you, is it about the beef? Is it about the texture? Is it about the char? What is it?
Oh, it's all about how we layer the flavor. The bun has to be toasted perfectly with a lot of butter. And then, I want a good sear on my burger. It's got to have the good sear. And then I like fresh stuff on. I like lettuce, tomato, and onion. That's the key for me.
Do you eat burgers outside of work, or is it like I have enough of this all the time?
I haven't ordered a burger at a different restaurant for quite a while.
It's a lot of quality control, right?
Yeah, exactly.
It is funny. Well, I love it. People are going to really have a good time with this. Minnesota Burger Week. The website is mnburgerweek.com. August 10th is when it starts, and it runs through the 16th. So it starts on Monday. Download the app, kind of make your plan as to where you're going to go that week. And then order something else also, right? Like get a drink, you guys.
Well, you got to try the fries.
You got to try the fries.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Really appreciate you coming in.
No, thanks for having me. It was fun.
Josh Hoyt from LeBurger, which is one of my favorites in the Twin Cities. Check them out in Linden Hills. Even if you don't check them out during Burger Week, go and stop in. Thanks, Josh. In just a minute, DeRusha Eats continues with a sort of shocking development. A local brewery, we thought Bauhaus was done, but somebody bought it, and it's somebody who specializes in non-alcoholic drinks. We'll talk about that next.
This is Drive Time with DeRusha on News Talk 830 WCCO.
Taste what pork can do. That is the Minnesota pork story. And that is what I want you and your family to do, maybe for dinner tonight. It's Jason for the Minnesota Pork Board. 3,000 family farmers every corner of the state. You heard Blois talking with some of the Minnesota Pork Board folks out at Farm Fest. They're out there right now working on issues about safety, about animal health, about the environment, about tariffs, about trade, all of this stuff. They work on that, so you only have to work about getting deliciousness for your family for dinner. Now, you know about the pork chop, you know about bacon, but do you know about ground pork? So versatile, such a great way to stretch your dollar, whether you're making like a cold salad with ground pork, that's a great option. Maybe you just need some inspiration. You're like, I want to use ground pork, but I don't know what to do. Go to tastewhatporkcando.com. You click on Explore Recipes right at the top of the page, and it lets you sort and filter those recipes by cut, by cooking method, whatever you want to do. They've got it for you. Because putting flavor on the table is what Minnesota pork is all about. Get to the grocery store, get to the butcher shop. Let's have Minnesota pork for dinner tonight.
One 877 Cards for Kids. KARS Cards for Kids. 1-877 Cards for Kids. Donate your card today.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Ready to get rid of that old car? Donate it to Cars for Kids. Call 877 Cars for Kids to speak to a friendly live agent. Donation is super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Go to carsforkids.org now or call 877 Cars for Kids to donate your car today.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids.
Did you know you can donate real estate too? Go to carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back for buying gas. That's right. You can earn cash back with Upside just for buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside, and just last year, I made nearly $300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get cash back? If you like extra cash, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back when you fill your tank. Use promo code FRESH to get an extra 35 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime, right to your bank or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code FRESH for a 35 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code FRESH for a 35 cents per gallon bonus.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
No major incidents to report, although many slow spots across the metro. Highway 169 northbound is slow and go from Crosstown all the way up to Highway 55. And up in the north end, 694 eastbound is dragging from 94 over to Highway 10. 94 is stop and go in both directions if you're headed into Minneapolis from 280 over to the tunnel. So be prepared. A lot of red on the map. So be prepared to add some extra time. That's traffic. I'm Darren Kmeyer, News Talk 830 WCCO.
I love this time of year, and so do your Minnesota pork farmers. Pork turns up the flavor at every backyard hang. TasteWhatPorkCanDo.com has recipes galore. Get to the butcher shop and grocery store, and let's have Minnesota pork for dinner tonight. Oh.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
CCO forecast brought to you by the Minnesota Pork Board. Taste what pork can do. Tonight, partly cloudy, 59 the low. Tomorrow, beautiful, 82, low humidity. It's a DeRusha delight day. Enjoy it. Right now, it is 76 on CCO.
Jason DeRusha.
I don't think he's funny. I don't think he's been funny for years.
On News Talk 830 WCCO.
I would run through a fire just to be by your side. If your heart's on the line, you can take mine. It's crazy, but it's true.
Buckle up, everybody. Welcome to our second segment of DeRusha Eats with a bit of a surprise to me, Bauhaus Brewing in the Twin Cities. Beautiful facility in Northeast Minneapolis. The Bauhaus Tap Room and Bauhaus Brew Labs went out of business. They shut it down. And I think a lot of us wonder, like, this is such a beautiful space. What's going to happen to it? And news just broke that a St. Paul-based company, ABV Technology, acquired Bauhaus, is reopening the tap house, and the founder of ABV is with us in studio, along with the co-founder in the back of the room there. We got Ben Jordan with us here. It's good to see you, Ben.
Hey, nice to talk to you, Jason.
Tell me why you said, all right, let's take this to the next level, because you guys have been plenty busy with non-alcoholic beverages, with THC, with CBD, all sorts of stuff, right?
Yeah, that's right. You know, we founded our business back in 2017 with a foundation on beer, right? We love beer, and we wanted to try to, help people to try beers that maybe had less alcohol, more alcohol, depending on what they wanted. So we invented this technology that allowed us to adjust the alcohol content in different beverages. And since then, we've been working with
pretty
hundreds
cool
of
stuff, right?
Super cool stuff, right?
Because,
Very engineering.
And the old NA beer tasted like crap.
It sure did. That was part of the inspiration
And
as well,
now,
right?
you look at the first commercial product you guys made was with Bauhaus, right?
That's right. They were our first customer, wrote us our first check.
Nah.
That's right. The Nah Hellas.
It's really good.
I like it as well.
Yeah.
I'm one of the people out there that's drinking regular beer and then switching to NA throughout the night. Pretty common theme these days for people who are out drinking.
You brought a huge selection of some of the different beverages that you guys are working with, right? I don't know if I can drink all of these in the 5 minutes we have, but tell me what we've got here.
Yeah, well, that's a classic Pilsner there. It's Bauhaus's award-winning Pilsner, the one that people appreciate and love. It's been around the Twin Cities, award-winning for years, and it's what people come to Bauhaus looking for. First and foremost, we're offering those alcoholic beers, and those are the front and center as the big featured products. But for the people who are looking
Wonder
for
Stuff,
more,
all the usual, you bought all of those recipes.
That's correct. We bought all those recipes, and we'll continue to produce all those wonderful beers.
Cool.
Absolutely. And then for those that are looking for something different or more choice, we're taking all those beers and adjusting the alcohol content in them and making low and no alcohol.
Oh, wow. Interesting.
So you'll be able to get an NA Pilsner from that original Pilsner recipe, or guava sour, or hazy IPA.
Is that what this is?
That's that second one's the NA Pilsner there. That's right.
Very similar taste experience, to be honest. A little different, not exactly the same.
Yeah, that's right. When you take the alcohol out of a beer, it's going to change the flavor a little bit, but you can actually kind of build it back up and make it great.
Yeah,
absolutely.
This technology, for you guys to be able to have a public-facing part of your business, were you nervous about that? I mean, you're sort of a B2B operation, living in the background a little more.
Yeah, after the last 9 years of working with all these different breweries and wineries, we've gotten a chance to see how they do business, and we've been helping them with all of their different diverse beverage offerings. This gave me a way to kind of lead by example rather than follow. I've known the Bauhaus tap room and the Bauhaus team for years. It gave me a chance to work with them more closely. And so we were able to bring that team over, bring those recipes over. And as long as we could, keep that, those core things together, I think it was going to be a win right out of the gate. That we're bringing more choice and more diversity to the menu just is going to bring more people.
Are you nervous, though? I mean, this is a tough time for craft beer. It's a tough time for alcohol, period. Did Bauhaus have to shut it down because, is it because people just don't want to gather in this way anymore? Or do you think it was just they want maybe a broader selection of options?
Yeah, it's certainly true that people are drinking a little bit less, or at least that's what the statistics say.
The data set. Not according to my 21-year-old, but
and not according to me as well.
No,
I still enjoy going out to these wonderful places. I think what you're seeing is that, the people are maybe drinking differently, and the economies maybe price some people out of drinking as well. Not only are we offering all these different choices that bring people back that might have had different taste adjustments over the years, but we're bringing the prices down as well so that people can come back and spend $5 and get a beer. That's something that's tough to find in tap rooms around the Twin Cities. We're not really nervous. We're more excited.
Oh, I think you're so right about the price point. I've been harping on this a little bit, that restaurants complain all the time that people aren't drinking as much wine. They're not ordering as many cocktails. And my pushback is like, have you tried maybe reducing it from 4x the markup and see? Because I do think the economy is part of this.
And I think it's difficult.
$5 for a beer sounds nice.
I grew up out in Delano, right, where you can still get a beer for $4.
Yeah. Your Delano friends are going to be pissed that you're charging $5.
I know. They're all going to come to the
you're
city.
making them find parking in the city? My gosh, what are you doing, Ben?
Well, it was one nice thing that came with Bauhaus is there's so much free and available parking back there. Please do come to the city. Enjoy it. We're ready to host you.
The space is so gorgeous. I'm just so glad it's still going to be activated as a community gathering spot. And for you to frankly, it's, to me, going to be the city's most interesting laboratory to find out what do people want. I mean, I keep reading the articles that, people want more NA, but do they? Do they order it when it's available? Let's see.
Yeah, they say that, about 49% of the population and the adults in the state of Minnesota are drinking alcohol still, but a lot of people, maybe another 10% are drinking NA. I think what you're seeing is that they're just looking for more options. You're drinking that guava sour there. That's another example of a beer. Back there, you've also got a Paloma that's made with the alcohol part of the beer that gets separated when you make NA. We also make traditional seltzers, and we also can use those NA bases to make THC. So that all these different people who are coming in and looking for something different, maybe a hypothetical group of 4, they might want a beer, but somebody else might want a seltzer and somebody else might want an NA. We have all those options for them. We think that's going to bring more people back to those tap rooms. And if we price it right, it's going to make them want to have 2 or 3.
When are you opening, Ben?
That's a great question. Sometime in August.
All right.
Coming up soon.
It's August. I mean, here we
Sure
go.
Is. Sure is.
Congratulations. I'm really excited for you. Thank you for coming in.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Ben Jordan from ABV Technology. They're opening. Is it still going to be called Bauhaus, or are you changing the name?
Sure is.
All right. Good stuff. Continental Diamond time check 4:58. Time to get to continentaldiamond.com. Local news coming up on CCO.
I'm Bob Burke, founder and chairman of Burke America Parts Group, a family of brands that includes RepairClinic.com, an appliance and HVAC parts solution company that's grown into an international brand. Before AmericanEagle.com, we partially launched a new technology platform developed by another firm. American Eagle helped take our technology to a whole new level with digital marketing, software development, and business insights into our key markets, appliances, HVAC, and outdoor power equipment, and did so both on time and on budget. AmericanEagle.com has the resources, experience, and talent needed to produce solutions. Our new technology platform, developed by AmericanEagle.com, has produced tremendous results with higher traffic, conversion, engagement, and online revenue. If you have any home repairs you need to take care of, check us out at RepairClinic.com. If you need a world-class website or technology project, then I would highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Call AmericanEagle.com at 773-NETWORK. That's AmericanEagle.com, 773-NETWORK.
Everyone worth hearing, everything worth knowing. News Talk 830 WCCO. 1029 HD2, Minneapolis, St. Paul.
From ABC News, I'm Chuck Severson. Bail is set at $1 million for a man arrested for allegedly starting the largest of the 3 wildfires in Spokane, Washington. Flames melted electric and gas lines, as ABC's Alex Stone in Spokane, seeing repair crews.
There's actually a dozer that they're bringing in next to us that they're going to be backing in, where there are fire crews right here trying to dig line and clean up the area. But what they're doing is building a road so power crews can get in and try to rebuild the power line. So they're actively doing that right now.
The man arrested went to prison for manslaughter in his father's 2010 killing in Arizona. The House Ethics Committee is doing what Ohio Republican Congressman Max Miller publicly urged them to begin an investigation into him for alleged domestic violence and abuse or illegal drug use. Miller has denied allegations that he abused his now ex-wife and daughter, saying Miller is unfit to remain in Congress. His ex-father-in-law, Ohio Senator Bernie Moreno, saying of his granddaughter,
she's going to have high-definition videos. She's going to have news stories. She's going to have everything out there. She's going to read that as an adult going, what the heck happened?
Sources tell ABC News President Trump called Miller about his re-election campaign. ABC News Washington managing editor Catherine Falders.
Trump expressed concerns over his candidacy and said it was in jeopardy. Now, according to sources, Miller did tell Trump that he was going to stay in the race.
Acting Attorney General and AG nominee Todd Blanche has been confirmed by the Senate Judiciary Committee. A full Senate vote is ahead. Blanche can only afford to lose 2 Republican votes. If he makes it, says ABC News legal contributor James Sample.
Technically speaking, what changes is the title. Practically speaking, what changes is very little.
Republican Senator Susan Collins of Maine says she'll vote no on Blanche's nomination. In a statement, Collins says, while I believe Mr. Blanche is a capable lawyer, the Department of Justice has become increasingly political. The mayor says Ukraine's capital, Kyiv, is under a ballistic missile attack. You're listening to ABC News.
Minnesota's trusted voice every hour. Let's get you caught up with what's happening now on News Talk 830 WCCO.
Mostly cloudy, 77 degrees at 5:02. I'm Laura Oakes. Minneapolis police with some new information today after an 18-year-old fell nearly 20 stories from inside an abandoned grain elevator last night.
This is a sad and tragic incident. An 18-year-old individual, their life is changed forever.
MPD spokesman Sergeant Garrett Parton says they've gotten a number of calls from people reporting this kind of activity.
Last year, as best as we've been able to track it, mostly in the first precinct and in the second precinct, we've had over 80 incidents of reports of individuals involved in urban exploration. This year, we're at over 100.
WCCO's Susie Jones talked with neighbors about the problems with urban explorers.
It was only a matter of time before someone got hurt. That's according to neighbors living near the old checkerboard grain elevator.
This happens daily and sometimes multiple times a day, most of the time at night, but on the weekends it's all day.
Vox Payne says people come and park on the street and urinate on their yards.
They make a whole bunch of noise. They scream and yell from the top, some pretty bad obscenities.
And she says they partake in dangerous activities.
They do these very scary things, like the kid was doing a death hang is what they call it, which is a one-arm hang off of some pole that hangs off the building. And terrible things like this happen. This is what they do.
Susie Jones, News Talk 830 WCCO.
The attorney for St. Paul's police chief calling St. Paul Mayor Kahan-fever odd at best and even unhinged in a wide-ranging interview with WCCO's Chad Hartman today. This is more information and allegations surface on what prompted Chief Axel Henry's sexual harassment complaint against the mayor and the formal investigation that is still underway. Attorney Chris Maddle telling Chad at this point nothing would surprise him.
I mean, the doctored memes, there's doctored photos that has been reported, the putting your face over things, the orgasming in the gym, the complimenting women's breasts, the other stuff that I'm aware of that hasn't come out yet.
Mayor Herr released an initial statement last week saying some of her attempts at humor fell short and that she would not resign. WCCO Radio has reached out to her office for comment and has not heard back. In other headlines, Chipotle says it's removing jalapenos from multiple Minnesota stores following a salmonella outbreak linked to more than 100 illnesses in the state. And international soccer returns to Allianz Field in October as the U.S. men's national team faces Canada as part of an international friendly. Tickets go on sale Thursday for the October 6th match. WCCO News Times, 5:05.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
35W is a parking lot in both directions from Crosstown up to 94, right through the Spaghetti Junction. Expect a long, slow crawl if you're headed that route. 494 eastbound is stop and go from 35E to the Crosstown merge. And the Fish Lake interchange is backed up in both directions as you start to head north. So plan some extra time. That's a look at the roads. I'm Derek Haymeyer, News Talk 830 WCCO.
Get your home into the comfort zone with Metro Heating and Cooling.
An air conditioner at Metro Heating and Cooling is, on average, only $5,400 installed. Find out more at metroheating.com.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
Brought to you by Metro Heating and Cooling. Here's WCCO TV Chief Meteorologist Chris Schaefer.
It's a windows open kind of night tonight. It won't be humid. We'll cool back to 59, even cooler outside of the metro. Mostly sunny tomorrow, a bump warmer with a high up around 82. Sunny again on Thursday, even warmer with a high in the mid-80s. It will be a bit breezy. It gets even warmer on Friday.
Mostly cloudy right now, 77 at News Talk 830 WCCO.
If you're planning to move to a senior living facility, you know firsthand that the wait lists are long, and when an opening pops up, you should take it right away. If you need to sell your house to make it happen, you're going to need to work quickly. My friends from the John Schuster Group, Coldwell Banker Realty, will make sure that your home sells when you need it to. Steve and Cheryl knew when they got to the top of the list, they needed to be ready. They heard me talking about John on the radio and called the Good Neighbor agent to come up with a plan. It made it so they didn't have to feel rushed, and so that the short notice of their move wouldn't leave them stuck paying for 2 homes. When they got the call saying that a spot in a senior living center was open, they knew they had to act. Luckily, they'd already come up with a plan with John. He fired up the marketing system. Interest came in right away. Took him 2 days to find a buyer. That's it for Steve and Cheryl. Their home sold for $5,000 over asking price. They planned ahead. You should too. Curious what your home is worth? Go to johnschustergroup.com.
Buy a home, sell a home, we'll get you moving. JohnSchusterGroup.com.
Terms and conditions may apply.
For the ones who get it done, Grainger offers the professional grade products you need to get the job done. With fast delivery you can depend on and access to technical product experts ready to help you meet any challenge. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by.
Check engine or ABS light on? Take the guesswork out of your warning lights with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
In the military, the mission was clear. You knew what to do. Now, the mission has changed. Stepping into civilian life isn't about finding a job. It's finding your purpose.
I wanted a career that would leverage the skills and discipline I gained in the military. IT just felt right.
My Computer Career offers class schedules that fit into your life and skills in high demand. Put your VA benefits to work. Visit mycomputercareer.edu/CWP to jumpstart your IT career today. An elite CompTIA certification partner. Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including VA benefits.
Built on facts, powered by curiosity. News Talk 830 WCCO. He knows news. He knows talk. He knows nonsense, too. So get ready for a lot of each. This is Drive Time with DeRusha, fueled by Luther Kia of Bloomington. Once again, here's Jason DeRusha.
We start with a safety check. It's National Night Out. Communities around the Twin Cities coming together, law enforcement stopping in. Do you feel safe? Simple question, 651-461-9226.
Now shut up and drive.
I feel safe. I feel safer than I did in 2021, 2022, and I feel less safe than I did before COVID. That's my answer. In my neighborhood, where many of you are going to National Night Out, I feel like many of us have a disconnect between how we generally feel about safety and how we feel in our own neighborhoods, which I think is worth exploring, right? Because when I ask the question, do you feel safe? I'd love for you to tell me what factors come into play. Because I believe that most conversation about whether or not you feel safe has to do with how you feel somewhere else, somewhere other than your home. In the Twin Cities, it's in the cities, right? Safety in your suburb or in greater Minnesota, I bet you feel safe, right? Maybe not. I don't know. I guess it depends. 651-461-9226. I'm really curious where people are on this. National Night Out is really about safety, if you think about it, because the safest thing you can do in your community is keep a watch out for each other, right? I'll never forget when I first moved to Maple Grove after living in downtown Milwaukee. I used to live in Milwaukee before we moved here. I moved to Maple Grove and couldn't believe it, the way like neighbors were concerned if you'd see someone drive down your street after 9 o'clock at night. The way people would talk to each other and tell you what was going on. Everybody knew each other. You knew your neighbors. You knew who, when things felt right and when things felt not right. I think often when we look to safety, we look for police to save us. And I actually think part of the reason people maybe feel less safe today is because we don't talk to our neighbors. We don't know the people in our community. We don't feel connected to a community. And so we feel sort of like we're off on an island. And when you feel alone, it's easy to feel afraid. Now, when you look at the Twin Cities, are we, as we enter the summer, we have news from Laura today that the guy who was appointed to be in charge of police and fire and emergency responses, he's going to step down at the end of the year. The second guy in this $350,000 plus paid position that hasn't worked out. It just goes to my belief that you need strong policing. You need, on top of that, strong prosecuting. I think that's part of why in the Metro Twin Cities, people maybe feel less safe than they used to. But you mostly need each other. The cops show up after something went wrong. The prosecutor steps in after somebody gets arrested. You are able to take care of yourself on the front end. I'm not saying that policing doesn't matter. It does. But I think that connective nature, to me, like that is the key differentiator, and that is the situation where I look at today and think, like, I don't know. Like, are we missing that? Do you know your neighbors? Do you know your neighbors? And that's the other part of the National Night Out, right? And certainly in Minnesota, like, we know our neighbors in the summer, and then in the winter, everybody goes back into their house. And then in the summer, you meet people again. The spring comes around. You're like, who are you? I know my neighbors, and I know my neighbors in Maple Grove, and I know my neighbors maybe to a lesser degree in the apartment building. I'm in sort of a similar situation to you, Dan, in that I'm in an apartment building now. And, you run into people in the elevator, or you run into people in common areas, or out, like we have a rooftop deck. So you see people out there, but you have fewer opportunities for interaction as compared to like when I lived in Maple Grove all the time, and you'd see people out mowing the lawn or walking around the neighborhood. You know what I mean? It is the apartment lifestyle, knowing your community. It's a little different.
It is different. I don't know that I would categorize it as better or worse, but it is definitely different.
Yeah.
And of course that depends on people, right? I mean, obviously, I'm a huge introvert. And so I know the guy that lives above me, his name is Doug, and I couldn't tell you the name of another person that lives in that building. Just because you don't, and again, with it, the other part about apartment living is it's transient, right? People are constantly coming and going. So it's not like you have the same neighbors for a decade or whatever, like you would in a lot of suburban neighborhoods. People are coming and going each year or after several months. So, I don't know that it fosters a lot of those same kinds of neighborhood relationships that you would have in other situations. And the other part for me, obviously, where I live, I couldn't pick up a rock and throw it and hit the police station, but if I picked it up again, I could. It's that kind of close proximity. So on the one hand, I hear a lot of sirens, which is not great. On the other hand, there isn't a whole lot of crime in my neighborhood. So there's not none for sure, but I do feel really, really safe given where I live.
When you ask people, is there more crime in America than there was a year ago? You get different answers depending on if you're asking Republicans or Democrats. That's a problem, isn't it? The fact that we can't even have a shared conversation. And this is just a factual question. Republicans, the percent of Republicans who say crime is rising is 54%. 46% of Democrats say crime is rising. Now, we're a lot closer to being on the same page than we were in 2024, the year of the presidential election. In 2024, 29% of Democrats said crime was rising. 90% of Republicans said crime was rising. There's always been a political dimension to crime and to whether or not people feel safe, because politics have always lined up with like, oh, how tough are we going to be on crime? Are we going to go after sort of quality of life issues? The Rudy Giuliani approach back in Times Square years and years ago. There's always politics to it. I'm not saying that that's a bad thing. But I do think, especially in this community, I worry that people who don't live in Minneapolis and St. Paul have sort of just given up on it and decided that crime is out of control here. And so there's no fresh evaluation of the data. It's just, well, this is how it is. And now I get to file that away in my head and be done with it, you know? Texter says, some places feel safe and some don't. Definitely areas I avoid, mainly at night, that I used to go to. I used to walk through 19th and Nicollet all the time, pre-pandemic. No more. Too many guns and drugs. That's sort of how I feel about things. And I think my position on crime, if you were to take, I mean, of the things that, Dan, you stand next to me and hear me actually talk about these things every day for the last 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
I think my position on crime
Has it been that long? I'm sorry. Go ahead and continue.
Maybe crime is like the biggest distorted.
Yeah.
Where some people on the right think that I think everything is just hunky-dory. It's vibrant, which just doesn't match with how we've talked about these issues on the air. What I want people to do is just be honest about like taking a continual fresh look at the data, or just shut up, right? Like that's an option too. You don't have to have a position on crime in the cities. You don't.
And nuance is hard, especially when it comes to an issue like this. It's much easier to paint the entire metro area as a urban hellscape where you could get shot any second of the day.
Yeah.
Instead of saying, well, yeah, there's some areas that are bad and we need to work on those and we need to do better and we need more police. And here's active ways that, we can get better. And there's also some areas that are perfectly fine and beautiful and great and vibrant. So it's easier to say that. It's also easy, to go the other way and say, no, you guys are overreacting. Everything's fine. There's no big problem. We don't need to work on anything. Well, that's not true either.
Yeah.
Right. But that's the easy polls to go to because you don't have to think too hard. You don't have to actually do anything. You can just say what you say and forget about everything else and not actively be engaged in saying, here's the problems with our area and here's what we need to do to make it actually get better.
The texters are very good. Texter says, I feel a little safer than during COVID, less safe than before COVID. The big difference is I now look over my shoulder more when I'm going to my parked car. I'm less relaxed when being out and about. Same. 100% agree with that. It is a sense of unease. Part of that comes with the fact that there aren't as many people out and about now. So just that lack of kind of safety in numbers is an issue. But part of it is the fact that our elected officials have decided that they're going to allow nuisance people. I don't know what the polite way to talk about it, but you know what I'm talking about. The druggies, the gangbangers, the people who are strung out, the homeless people, they just get to do their thing. And that adds to unease. It just does. There was a point where like you were looked at as a bad person if you complained about people openly doing drugs. And so I think you can have that conversation too. Keep the text coming. Lots of text coming in. National Night Out. Do you feel safer or not? 651-461-9226.
Drive Time with DeRusha is fueled by Luther Kia of Bloomington. Go see Dan Dingman and the crew today or always online at lutherkiaofbloomington.com.
There are those moments in life where you hear a sound in your house. Every homeowner knows these sorts of things. It's Jason. I've heard them in my house. The hum of a breaker that just keeps tripping every time you plug something in the kitchen. Just pop. Maybe the gurgle of a drain. It shouldn't be gurgling. That drip, drip, drip under the sink. And then the thought hits you. Oh, no. Oh, no is the moment to call Randy's Electric and Plumbing. For more than 20 years, Randy's has helped so many of us in the Twin Cities handle the stressful stuff. Yes, they're doing electrical repairs. Yes, they're going to upgrade your panel. If you're in an older home, I have my panel upgrade. How about rewiring? You need some rewiring in the house, they got you covered. And then it's plumbing. Oh, the sewer and drain service, the sump pumps, your water heater conks out, your water softener, your filtration system. Maybe you bought a new EV. You want an EV charger. All of that on the table when you call Randy's. Randy's licensed pros, they show up prepared. They explain your options clearly. They give you honest pricing before the work starts. They'll do it same day. They'll give you text when the technician's on the way so you know help is coming. Oh, no is going to happen. It is. Don't panic. Call Randy's.com. Call Randy's Electric and Plumbing. Let's make this summer your best summer ever. Jason here for Luther Kia of Bloomington, and Luther Kia Bloomington wants to upgrade your ride. Outstanding prices, $399 a month. Sign and drive lease offers on Seltos, Sportage, Nero, and K5. Get out of here. Plus $750 owner loyalty cash on the stunning Kia Telluride and the Telluride Hybrid. Best cars for the money on the market. Check out their brand new facility, now open at 35W and 494. Luther Kia of Bloomington.com.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
ZipRecruiter. Here's the tale of the daily Medfill. Same old pharmacy, same old bill, but those prices kept rising higher still.
Till the savings wrangler rode in, cool as can be. Tap Good RX, saving massively.
No plan? Don't matter none. Up to 80% off. Deals are done.
Discounts hitting harder than Ma's chili. Dang. That one little app does all the rest.
Save time and money on prescriptions.
Check Good RX. Good RX is not insurance.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
What do parents think of back to school at Staples, where supplies start at just 25 cents?
Staples has the latest laptops with up to 40% savings.
I may hug the cashier.
So embarrassing.
It's the most wonderful time of the year.
It's a wonderful time at Staples with up to 40% off select tech. Staples.
That was easy.
Visit Staples today or shop online and in the app. Ends 9/12. Exclusions apply.
Summer's not over yet, and Launchpad Golf, the Meadows, is where I'm finishing it strong. It's Jason DeRusha. Launchpad Golf in Prior Lake, right across from Mystic Lake Casino Hotel. It's more than a golf entertainment venue. Come for dinner. Try some of my favorites like the Truffle Bison Burger, wild-caught salmon. Plus, how about this deal? The Summer Players Card. It's just $199. Golf in a suite any weekday with 5 guests. 2 visits. Your new weekday hangout pays for itself. Book tonight at launchpadgolf.com.
Drive Time with DeRusha.
I wish you weren't right, but you are.
On News Talk 830 WCCO.
How about this for a little drama at Farm Fest today? Representative Pete Stauber was on stage, part of a panel, and he said that Tom Emmer is, quote, fighting for his damn life, which I saw some of the tweets about this, and like, oh no, like, is something going on with Tom Emmer? Stauber's spokesperson, who, by the way, is Tom Emmer's daughter-in-law, clarifies, quote, Representative Emmer is not fighting for his life. He had a series of foot surgeries. I mean, look, Pete Stauber tells stories like I tell stories, right? Like, do you know what Tom Emmer has been through? He has seen hell. He saw the light. He saw the pearl. It turned out he had bunions. He just had bunions. Maybe he had a wart. A fungus of some sort. There was a time when our elected officials actually knew stuff before they just started saying stuff. Do you remember that era? It was a good time. It was a good time. All right, we're talking about National Night Out. By the way, Twins Ticket Tuesday today. So I haven't heard the sounder. So at some point, caller 3 is going to get a 4-pack of tickets for Sunday, August 16th. Do you feel safe? Simple question. Although it's a more difficult question to answer, perhaps. Let's go to Jeff in Sauk Rapids. Jeff, do you feel more safe? First of all, I bet you feel safe knowing that Tom Emmer's foot surgery was okay.
Oh yeah. That's just I'm going to sleep real well tonight, just knowing that. Now, if his doctor can do something about my peripheral neuropathy, I'll even breath.
That's right. Yeah, that's a tough one.
Yeah.
National Night Out today, safety. Sauk Rapids, is it safer today? Is it less safe? How are you feeling?
I feel safe. I've been to the Twin Cities. I used to go to the Twin Cities a lot, and I've never felt unsafe. I've really never felt unsafe any place I've gone. I very seldom go to the Twin Cities, Minneapolis especially. There are things about St. Paul I like. Has nothing to do with safety. I used to go regularly, look forward to it, the restaurants, theaters, etc. But this is a segue, but your road systems, MnDOT's freeway systems are so screwed up. And I don't care if it's all of the transitions from the malls to the not malls, the bus lanes to the this or that.
Yeah, those merge points, they make it where you don't want to take that drive. I get it. Texters, am I still a leftist if I want to bring back vagrancy laws? Actually, I think leftists would find much more success if they would speak more forcefully around some of the things that are obvious and are universal, which is we all want to feel safe. I do understand this argument, and I was making this argument for a certain point. I was wrong. There's an argument that if you are uncomfortable, that's on you. So if you're on a bus or a light rail train and someone's openly doing drugs, well, they have an illness. And if you feel uncomfortable about it, that's a you problem. That was the argument. And I was sympathetic to that because the idea that, look, we don't have a universal right to be comfortable in every single circumstance. I will say that that argument of mine was stupid and wrong. You do have a right to, we all have sort of an equal right. And I think we allowed the vagrants, the problem causers, the people with problems, they got the pendulum too far on their side. Texters say the biggest problem is a proliferation of guns. You could get shot up now at a suburban shopping center, a St. Cloud Mall, a clinic in Delano, or on the highway. I do think there is a fear in me that a minor escalation, a minor situation can become major. And that is because there are so many guns out there. It just is. Dems don't want to agree that crime is bad because Dems have been in charge for decades. I don't think that's true, but I do think Democrats for the last 10 years when crime was down and times were good, you do have the luxury to engage in some academic experiments and academic discussions. And I do think if I were a leftist and I were running for office and someone said like, hey, you said we should defund police, or you said we should let open drug use happen in controlled areas or whatever. I do think it's very easy to explain that away and say, look, when times are good, it is time to experiment, leading with empathy and love and trying some different things. And today we're not in that circumstance. So we got to do things differently. I'm not running an academic classroom. I'm running for office to represent the people. That's what I would say. Let's break. In a minute, Greg Swan. I cannot believe what Greg Swan has done. Greg is going to, normally he comes on this show to explain the internet. Today he's coming on the show to explain why he wasn't on the internet, a week off it. We'll talk with Greg in just a minute here on Drive Time.
We're gonna win, Twins, we're gonna score.
This is Drive Time with DeRusha on News Talk 830 WCCO.
Time now for today's Spotlight on Tech, sponsored by University of Maryland Global Campus.
OpenAI's ChatGPT is going to get access to Yelp's reviews, photos, and business information, according to Axios. Terms of the deal were not disclosed, but Yelp will provide the data to ChatGPT in return for Yelp branding and links to Yelp's app in the AI model's replies to user queries. Yelp already has similar deals with Apple Maps and Yahoo Plus. I'm Jason Brooks.
Earn an accredited MBA in as few as 16 months for about $21K at University of Maryland Global Campus. Explore 10 specializations, including finance, HR, cyber technology, and more. Plus, showcase the value of your MBA with a comprehensive learner record and digitally demonstrate in-demand skills and credentials to employers. Apply now and save with no application fee. Classes start August 12th. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chev.
Get your home into the comfort zone with Metro Heating and Cooling.
The warm days of summer have arrived. You're going to want to have an AC in your house. Call Metro Heating and Cooling. We'll be happy to help you choose the AC system that's right for your home and wallet. Get a free estimate at metroheating.com. Metro Heating and Cooling of Maplewood.
Get your home into the comfort zone with Metro Heating and Cooling.
metroheating.com.
Lisa Damuth, a Republican who delivers results.
And I led the charge in rooting out billions in fraud and waste.
To stop the fraud, you need a governor who won't back down. Lisa Damuth gets the job done. Lisa Damuth understands to make Minnesota affordable again, we must fight fraud. Lisa Damuth knows to create good paying jobs for Americans, we must stop payments to illegal aliens.
I led the way to end taxpayer funding of health care for illegal immigrants.
In the legislature, Republican Lisa Damuth fought the fraudsters. Now, Lisa Damuth's running for governor.
Let's start our Minnesota comeback right here and right now.
America's PAC is responsible for the content of this advertising. Paid for by America's PAC and not authorized by any other candidate or committee. AmericasPAC527.com.
Chad back here with you. I want to talk about trust and peace of mind. We all need it, in particular in some areas, including your insurance. Maybe it's for your business, or maybe it's more traditional with your house and your car. For me, I have trusted Amber Scholl and Associates with American Family for, what are you guessing, 5 years, 10 years? No, my entire family, whether it's my father or my kids, with American Family, with Amber in particular, for 30 years. We dread something bad happening with our house, with a car accident, but we need people with expertise, with professionalism and availability, and that's what Amber and her team are all about. Reach out to them today. It's worth it. Trust me. 651-738-4800. 11.
I'm Piera Palazzolo, VP of Digital Marketing for the American Management Association, a company focused on the management training skills needed to enhance the careers of business professionals. We did our research when it came to the best companies for website development and chose AmericanEagle.com. And we couldn't be happier. AmericanEagle.com worked closely with us to understand the front and back end requirements needed to launch an e-commerce website that could handle the complexities of running thousands of seminars nationwide. Our robust new website and improved SEO saw immediate increases in site traffic and web revenue. If you're in need of managerial effectiveness and success, visit our website at amanet.org. If you're in need of a website that provides an unparalleled consumer experience, I highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Transform your business today. Dial 877-WebNow1 for a free digital consultation with AmericanEagle.com.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
Highway 100 northbound in Golden Valley has a crash between Highway 55 and Duluth Street, Golden Valley Road. That backup starts at Glenwood Avenue. 35W northbound in Minneapolis has a crash between 4th Street and East Hennepin Avenue. That's adding to the parking lot conditions already in place through the Spaghetti Junction there. 610 westbound in Coon Rapids has a crash between Coon Rapids Boulevard and West River Road. That one will cost you about 10 minutes. That's the look of the roads. I'm Darren Kmire, News Talk 830 WCCO.
The time to enjoy your outdoor space is now. At By the Yard, you'll find beautiful maintenance-free outdoor furniture built for the way you live. Visit a By the Yard showroom and see why life is better outdoors.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
By the Yard bringing us the weather forecast. Here's Chief Meteorologist from Channel 4, Chris Schaefer.
A lovely night tonight. You can open up the windows and be quite comfortable. 59, the overnight low, not humid. Plenty of sunshine tomorrow with a high near 82. That's average this time of year. It does get breezy on Thursday. We'll keep that sunshine and warm up to the mid-80s. It does get a bit humid again on Friday.
Right now, it is beautiful. A little bit of sun peeking out, 76 degrees on CCO.
Drive Time with DeRusha, where the conversation's always in drive. Thanks to Luther Kia of Bloomington on News Talk 830 WCCO.
From viral chaos to tech, pretend to understand. What's next? Let's find out. This is Greg Swan Explains the Internet.
Greg Swan explains the internet. And this week, Greg Swan explains what it was like to not be on the internet. Greg is the head of futures and client transformation at Finn Partners. He is a marketing leader. He is one of the most online people I know. And you really went without any sort of digital, what happened here?
This was a struggle to think about what we're going to talk about on the segment. We're going to talk about the internet. I haven't been on the internet for 10 days. Can you imagine?
Days? 10 days.
Can you imagine? Now, first of all, there is privilege in being able to not be on the internet. And I just want to acknowledge that.
Yeah.
And I put my phone in airplane mode and put it in my back bag, put it in my pocket, and then didn't look at it again. And let's just say the last 24 hours have been quite the eye-opening experience about what I missed. And you know what? What else I didn't miss at all.
So what made you decide to do this?
So when my kids were younger and we were just kind of starting out, we would do like a cheap cruise or that sort of thing every year. My wife and I get away and try to stay married, right? Hey, we did it. So that's great.
It? Yeah.
And at the time, remember when you used to travel and you didn't have service? You get on a plane and you didn't have Wi-Fi.
It was just normal. There were certain spots.
Yeah, you might go up north to the cabin.
Yeah.
There's no signal. And you're like, I'm offline. And so you naturally would just be offline, right? And at the time, I'd put my phone in a safe for a week. And it became the shtick of like this guy who makes his career by knowing what's happening online, can sense the social signals of what's happening at all times, and has built a career out of doing that in personal and work time, taking his phone off, right? And now it's harder. than ever before. Anywhere you go, there's pretty much signal, and you have to really have a self-discipline to say, I'm going to turn off. And the reason to turn off is not necessarily for me that the internet is bad, but it can be healthy to do a reset and a digital detox.
When I think about all of the things that I use my phone for, outside of like navigation, for sure, like when I'm on vacation, and we've tried like going overseas on vacation where we won't do the data plan. So at least you're like, all right, I'm not mindlessly on it. Now, if I need to find a Wi-Fi, it's more intentional. The Google map is probably what I missed the most. For you, what were things that you ended up like, oh, I guess I can't do this now?
So the hardest part was I needed to acquire physical books to read.
Sure.
I had to ride in an elevator and stare mindlessly straight ahead and look at stuff. And then I really did miss things like Google Maps and connectivity with my kids, right? And my wife stayed online, and we still had I had a connection to them. Also, do you know what it's like to be at dinner and have your wife reading Facebook posts aloud to you so that you know what's going on?
So your wife didn't give it up.
She didn't, and and part of that is for safety, and part of that is that wasn't her thing. That's not why we were doing it. I wanted a break, and I will tell you that I learned a lot from that break, in part this morning when I started catching up on email. And we really like our email. Like, it doesn't matter what industry you're in, who you are, what age you are, email is massive. And guess how long it took me to get through a couple thousand emails between personal and work?
3 hours?
Yeah, less than probably 2 hours, 2.5 hours.
Most of it, like I've found, most of it can just be deleted.
Yeah, of course. And why do we sign up for that? And so this is the moment, right? So now you start thinking, well, why do I subscribe to all those newsletters, except for Jason DeRusha and Greg Swan's newsletters?
Right. Yeah, we need those Substacks.
Please,
for sure.
Please like and subscribe. But otherwise, like, and why am I still, everything I've ever used Square for, I've used a mobile payment on, I've gotten a subscription from that coffee shop and et cetera.
Right.
And some of those I keep, and I really value those. And I understand the marketing value of those companies sending those. And also, like, I tend to just delete those every time I see them anyway.
I have some from like other cities, right? Where you get like an email blast from some coffee shop and wherever.
Yeah. Now also think about the notifications you get on your phone from Facebook, Instagram, maybe email, Teams, Slack. It's a lot of competition for your attention. And I've turned all those off. And now that I'm back, I'm like being a little more sensitive about what I'm going to turn back on.
What did you miss?
So I found myself trying to open Instagram over and over and over. And I actually moved Instagram off my home screen because it was just such an intuitive, like, I have nothing to do, I'm going to open Instagram. Right. That was just really huge. And the other part is I really missed just that always on connection with my kids. And I have three teenagers right now. That's their primary communications medium. And I value that. I didn't have that kind of relationship with my parents when I was that age.
I would miss the texting.
And
we don't text every day, but like enough.
And some of that is sending memes back and forth. Some of that is what's happening in the real world. And by the way, I didn't hear the T word once in over 7 days. I didn't hear
the T word,
anything about the president, anything about, I didn't hear any world news at all.
Why would you? Yeah.
And also there's a privilege of not having to be engaged in those world events. And also a lot of that news that we get all the time. Also,
most people live in that world though, where, I think those of us who consume information like crazy, we think everyone does. And I think most don't.
That's a good point.
I wish they did. I host a news talk show. You can listen to this show. You could skip over the newsy parts and just have the nonsense. You did miss an important bill.
Yeah, we did forget to pay the mortgage.
Yeah.
So that is one thing. And you know what else I forgot?
You're still in your home.
They didn't. You have more time. You have more time. And you know what else I forgot? I forgot to email Dan about this show.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that he texted today because digging out, like, sometimes if you fully go, this is probably the first time in 6 years that I have actually taken a vacation. And again, what a privilege to have paid time off, to be able to unplug. But I've very much had a headache all day today, and I'm thinking about what did I miss?
Yeah.
And there were a few emails in there of people saying, "Hey, Greg, where are you? What's going to happen next?" So
interesting.
We'll see.
All right. Before you do this, Greg does have 4 pieces of advice of things you should do before you try it. So we'll talk about that. Would you guys do it? 651-461-9226. Have you ever done it? I'll tell you, like, I've dipped my toe into this area. I've never gone full in. Drive time back in a minute. Congrats to Gene from St. Paul who won those Twins tickets. We just gave it away. Twins ticket Tuesday. The Twins on the air here on CCO pregame right after this show. First pitch in Kansas City with the sort of new, not that new. 6:40. First pitch at 6:40. Drive time back in a minute.
Drive time with DeRusha. Tuned up and rolling. Thanks to Luther Kia of Bloomington.
Jason here for my friends at Livia, and I have a question for you. And the question for you is, when are you going to make the decision? When are you going to make the decision? For me, the hardest part about changing my life wasn't changing the way I eat. It wasn't telling my friends that I was doing something different. It wasn't even the 3.5 years of trying to keep the 45 pounds I lost off. The hardest thing was making the decision and acknowledging that I needed help. But man, if you're close, today is the day. Livia.com. They have a holistic way of looking at your health. It was really one of my favorite things about working with them. When I first went to Livia for my first appointment, and your first appointment is free, they've got a free metabolic health assessment that they'll do with you. And what that means is that I went through, you do the scale, you do the body, you do all the stuff, But I thought they were going to look at my numbers and say, Jason, here's what you need to do. Instead, they asked me what my goals were. How about that? That's a massive shift in the way you think about losing weight and changing your life. It's about how you feel. It's about being there for your grandkids someday. It's about having more energy. It's about sleeping better. Those are all things that are within your reach at the new Livia. Reach out today. Get that free metabolic health assessment. Get things going. Today's the day. No reason to wait any longer. Time keeps moving. You got to keep moving too. Livia.com, Livea.com, or call 855-GO-LIVIA.
Conversation, not confrontation.
Overall, I think the pitch clock has been the greatest rules change in sports.
They don't just react to the news, they shape the conversation around it.
If Amy Klobuchar goes from Royce White to Mike Lindell, take her to Vegas. I mean, can you get any more fortunate than that?
Listen longer and hear the difference.
Taj Bradley solidifying himself in this rotation has been the development of the season.
Minnesota's radio station. News Talk 830 WCCO.
Your mortgage is probably your biggest bill each month. Imagine having to pay it twice. It can happen if you buy a new home before you sell your current one. You need a real estate agent who knows how to find buyers fast. My friends from the John Schuster Group, Coldwell Banker Realty, know how to get the job done. Nate and Keisha were worried after their house sat on the market for more than half a year with a different agent. They had bought a new home before their previous one sold, and they felt stuck. They've been hearing me tell you about the Good Neighbor agent and knew they had to call John themselves. John's marketing system reaches thousands of potential home buyers every day. It helps him routinely sell houses fast and for the most money possible. John's marketing system found them a buyer in just a week. It sold for full asking price. They were so happy. Curious what your home is worth? Just type in your address, johnschustergroup.com.
Buy a home, sell a home, we'll get you moving. JohnSchusterGroup.com.
Terms and conditions may apply.
O'Reilly Auto Parts gets you back to savings. Pick up select Royal Purple fuel system additives. Buy one, get one free. Plus receive 4 times O-Rewards points.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
We asked parents to share their journey of adopting teens.
They changed who I am because I can't see life without them in it.
Visit adoptuskids.org to learn more. Brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer at a beverage manufacturing plant, he starts his day knowing every line is ready to run because Grainger delivers the industrial-grade products he needs to keep mixers, conveyors, and packaging equipment moving. With Grainger's vast selection of bearings, belts, and motors, he keeps operations running smoothly, so nothing grinds to a halt. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
For years, Gone South has been a podcast about crime in the American South. But for our new season, we're widening the lens. Through deeply reported, narrative-driven stories, we're digging into the myths, scandals, and power structures that still shape the South, and, in a lot of ways, the country itself. Follow and listen to Gone South Season 5, an Odyssey podcast, available now on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your shows.
Let's make this summer your best summer ever. Jason here for Luther Kia of Bloomington, and Luther Kia Bloomington wants to upgrade your ride. Outstanding prices, $399 a month. Sign and drive lease offers on Seltos, Sportage, Nero, and K5. Get out of here. Plus $750 owner loyalty cash on the stunning Kia Telluride and the Telluride Hybrid. Best cars for the money on the market. Check out their brand new facility, now open at 35W and 494. Luther Kia of Bloomington.com.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
94 westbound has a crash in St. Paul between Snelling Avenue and Pryor Avenue. Highway 100 southbound has a crash at the exit ramp to eastbound Highway 62. That's backing things up all the way up on the ramp. Highway 7 out in Victoria has a crash near Smithtown Road and Foxglove Circle. That's slowing things down in that area, so be prepared to add some extra time. That's a look at the roads. I'm Darren Kmeyer, News Talk 830 WCCO.
Launchpad Golf the Meadows in Prior Lake is your family and friends hangout. Chef-driven menu, in-range shot tracking tech, and golf every weekday with the Summer Players Card for one payment of just $199. Book your suite tonight at launchpadgolf.com.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
Launchpad Golf in Prior Lake. I'm going on Saturday with some friends. It's going to be awesome. They bring us the weather forecast, and what a night. Beautiful. Open the windows. Low of 59. Tomorrow's going to be good, too. High of 58. Low humidity. Thursday, things start to warm up a little bit. It's going to be breezy, but Friday is really wind. The Dilly of a Dew Point comes back at you. Right now, it's 75 on CCO.
Drive Time with DeRusha.
I don't think it's working. Hello.
Right, yes.
On News Talk 830 WCCO.
What's next? Let's find out. This is Greg Swan Explains the Internet.
Greg Swan went 1 week with no internet, no cell phone. But before you try it, he has 4 things that you should consider before you totally unplug.
If you are fortunate enough to be able to unplug, that part's the easy part. Putting your phone on Do Not Disturb, leaving it in a drawer, that's the easy part. It's that thing that's waiting for you when you get back. That's what's going to be terrible. So you got to work ahead. Number 1, got to work ahead. Front load as much as you can. Number 2, you got to tell everybody. You have to tell everybody, hey, I'm going to be offline. I'm actually offline.
That's so smart. Like I have an out of office vacation email, but saying I'm going to be offline. I'm for real.
Like you cannot reach me. And then you got to say, and here's a human you can reach. Right. So if number 1 is work ahead, 2 is tell everyone, 3 is you got to decide what actually urgent is. And that, again, is different in our urgency mindset. Like a deadline at work could be urgent. Like keeping your inbox at 0 could be urgent. Not my urgent. Don't know.
But so for your kids,
you got to make sure that the family that can reach you, the person that you told where you're at and how they can actually reach you in an emergency, they got to know why. And then the 4th one is don't vilify the tech. Like we don't need to say all technology is bad, so we need to unplug. What we need to say is, there are times, and research shows that even short breaks from digital, from devices, from being just on, can greatly help your perceived stress. And so that doesn't mean that you have to be in an unreachable place to be in a relaxed mindset, but it means that you have ownership over your relationship with technology and being on, and you can choose when you want to unplug, even if it's not 10 days in a row.
For you, the experience was the greatest part about it, like the extra space you had to think and to enjoy?
Yeah, I would say by the third day that I stopped like thinking about what I was missing or what I needed to check is when I started remembering other things, thinking, being more creative. I brought a notebook with me. I brought paper books and a notebook so I could write stuff down. I'm observing. I'm just looking around. At one point, I just stared ahead for a while and thought. Again, you can meditate at home. You don't have to make this a whole big thing and go on the radio and talk about how you turned your phone off.
But you think
like
about it,
that's
we
new.
all do this, right? Like when I'm streaming TV, I've got my phone next to me, like, and I don't need to.
Yeah, you don't need to. And again, it's not necessarily bad that you're doing that.
Right.
But
I
also,
enjoy it, but maybe I would enjoy not.
And so by adding that variety to your life, for me, that's the self-discipline of trying to do this once a year, a little like digital sabbatical, if you will.
If you would like to unsubscribe to all of the things in your email box, you should, and then resubscribe to Greg Swan's Substack at gregswan.substack.com. And then come check out the DeRusha download as well on Substack. It's free.
And then open them every single week and then read them aloud to your friends who are unplugged.
Click on the links. The idea of your wife reading Facebook updates to you is so adorable.
It's probably one of my favorite dinner memories of all time. So find someone who can read you Facebook.
I mean, who knew this was going to be love advice as well from Greg? Greg, thank you.
See you on the internet.
Continental Diamond time check. It's 5:57. Times for Twins pregame on CCO.
For the ones who get it done, Grainger offers the professional grade products you need